If we all turn our videos off, it might be fine.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I think this is we're doing the best we can. I'll explain the situation in just a minute. But first of all, welcome everybody to episode whatever the episode is. This is of Pen and Pixels. I think I do know that episode 43 of Pen and Pixels, focusing on story and narrative in games. I am your host Arvin Elleron, and this maybe is Ghosts of Saltmarsh, although it is going to take a whole lot to determine. I think I just realized that my mic is on in the Zoom call, but they're going to have to deal with it. We're doing it live. But I hope everybody can hear me in GOG chat, because this is a little bit sketchy. For context, I am currently on an undisclosed island in the Great Pacific Northwest. I was just at Seattle Worldcon. I've been traveling for the last couple of weeks, which I had mentioned to everyone that I'd be doing. Worldcon was amazing, super productive professionally and otherwise, but it has made streaming difficult. I did manage to get a remote stream in, but getting a stream in where I'm running 2 instances of Roll20 plus a Zoom call while tethering, that is, let me tell you, that is at another level of, as Fleo said in chat, we cannot hold this together much longer, Captain. So I don't. We'll see how this goes. I really want, and of course the players and I both all want this to really run, but we don't know. So we'll do the best we can. Before we get there, if you haven't done so, please follow the channel here on GOG.com. Please consider subscribing to us here on GOG.com, and most importantly, please make sure that you are clicking through and checking out all of our individual channels, because many of us have our own channels and Patreons and subsystems, and or get all of the creative stuff that each of these wonderful people produce. I will say that if we're not able to get this running, we will reconvene next week when I'm back home. But I would hate to do that because it means that we would miss out on the incomparable Fleos, and I do not want to miss out on Fleos, especially since apparently Fleos' character Oceanus is one of the few people who can connect to a tentacle god. So that's just something to keep in mind. But we are hopefully here. I hope everyone can hear us in chat. It sounds like they can so far, question mark. So I'm going to slide over now with trepidation and uncertainty to the screen. I don't see them yet. I mean, I see them on Zoom, but I don't see them on the stream yet. I will in a minute, I think. Okay, that's right. That's right. Why are you all there but not revealed? I don't understand why. Okay, wait. All right. Well, first of all, let me turn on their volume so at least you can hear that they're there, and that I'm not making it up. Like, oh yeah, these like your imaginary friends are. No. I swear to God, they're here. They're in my. Okay, now they can be at least heard. So go ahead and speak. Everyone speak, players. Yeah, everybody. Hi. Very funny. Now I just. You know what? Listen. All right, so now what I have to do
to show my monster again, and then I'm gone.
I gotta. Why is it not showing?
There we go.
Why is it not showing the people? I don't understand.
Oh, wake
I
up.
think what
Isn't it
we've
a
learned
mystery?
from this is that Arv is a method DM. So he knows we're on an island in the middle of nowhere. So he's decided to do the same himself.
Yeah, that's right.
And
was like-
DM from there, but it obviously has its pitfalls.
And also, I'm out in Seattle, and what is the Seattle mascot for their national hockey team? The Kraken. So I'm
The
just saying.
Krakens!
I'm just saying. I'm looking at tentacles coming
How
towards
do
me right
people know
now
this?
from the bay.
Very
So
I'm
it's
Canadian.
like
It's
Full team
just
I can
part
get
of,
behind.
some of us have mostly had imaginary friends. Oh my God, Rich, that's so sad. And also, you have some of you have many of you have real friends, and I know this because I just saw Prince Joseph. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to try.
Did I hear correctly that this is a Seattle stream?
It is a Seattle stream.
Yeah.
It is indeed a Seattle.
She's
stream.
out.
Wow.
Bruce is just out.
We don't talk about it, but they're out.
Go
Oh,
Seahawks!
The things
All right.
that are happening tonight. I'm just so it's just
Wasn't that
Just
Stephen Choice
along
from the
for the
Tremors
ride.
films? Oh no, he was Atlanta Hawks. Sorry.
Let's see. Okay,
The
so I've
irony
got.
of us not being able to see Bruce's hat on stream.
Oh no, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Oh yeah,
We can't even do a little
walked off
dance.
screen and now I'm wearing a Seattle Seahawks
Whoa.
hat. It makes my head look so small. Why does this hat look so
It
big
does
on
actually.
me?
It does look quite
It
big
is.
on
That
you.
was the style at the time.
It's a bit large for a baseball hat. So I don't know.
Giant hats.
But the Seahawks
I've
are
got
football,
one. It's
aren't
not
they?
as big as that, or I have a fat head. One of the two.
Okay,
I
so
also have a winter bubble hat.
you can have real friends. Yes, Darth
Oh, I
Sister,
see
you
us.
can have real friends. In fact,
Can we all have real friends though?
I have met all except for Bruce, and we will fix that situation someday. But we have met, all of the rest of us have met in person. And as I say, we will address that problem
It was
momentarily.
367 days ago.
Yeah, exactly
Wow.
right. It's amazing that was a year
Yeah.
ago. Just incredible. Okay, so while
That's
I am
wild.
recapturing these windows, Pyron is at least on the screen and invisible. So I'm going to use the time-honored method of
Yes,
revealing bit by
but
bit. Yes.
but
Wait. Yes.
I drew a little, I painted a little tentacle monster, and whenever I show the tentacle monster to the camera, I disappear. So there's a magic trick.
Ta-da!
I see it. Sort of. We saw it for a moment. Well, listen, it
Awesome,
wouldn't be a
isn't it?
hidden doom if you were able to see it. I mean, so
Magic.
it's all magic. Pyron, it is good to see you. Whilst I am capturing, how's everything with you? I know things have been, there's been a lot. So how are you hanging in there? And who are you playing today?
Okay, yeah, no. 8-Bit's birthday is today. So we should all think of 8-Bit
Oh, that's cool.
and sing him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to 8-Bit.
So, yeah.
Birthday to you.
So yeah. That's it from me. I was just thinking if there was anything happening to me since like mid-June that I would be like feel like people should hear.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think
understand.
so. So I would like to convey it has been catastrophic in many different ways. But yay! Everybody's still hanging in there. It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine.
Next, please.
At least now. But can you tell us who you're playing? I think that you can at least share with folks.
Yes, I can do that. That's a good thing. I know that. I'm playing Waves Crashing Against Rock, the Kenku Paladin. Paladin with the Oath of the Open Sea. And I think I'm not as panicked as I would be if my character is not as panicked as they would be if they knew more. So that's a good thing.
If the character had the player knowledge, it would be a whole different matter. Well, it's good to have Pyron with us as always. It is also good, of course, to have One Dark Saber 2K with us. Again, Saber, as always, thank you for Dashboard and Moobot, especially today, because oh my God. How is everything with you? How's life and so forth? Has Bloodstock happened now? Have you
It
done?
has, yes.
Okay,
Last
so
weekend.
so tell us, report, how was it, and then who are you playing today?
It was a lot of fun. One of the first bands I saw made me think of, well, at least some of us, because they were called Gnome. And
Okay.
already, like, when you were going up to the stage to see them, you were already seeing lots of gnome hats around. I guess people had been there giving them out to prepare, because there was a lot of gnome hats. That was good fun. It just made me think of something, because we've had So many fucking run-ins with notes. Right. Barony players, I know you all know what I'm talking about. Those little buggers, specifically. So you hear pickaxes in the distance, right? Find the other exit. Stop that. So yeah,
Not going into the mines again.
never ever going into the mines again. At least until Windrose play at Bloodstock. Don't know when that'll happen, but we love a bit of dwarf metal there. But yeah, obviously we had Trivium, we had Machine Head, we had trying to remember now, Gojira. Ministry, that was pretty damn huge as well. We had Fear Factory. In a weird way, there was a lot of like, wow, like my 2010 memes going like, oh my god.
Yeah.
A lot of bands
I
from
know
around that
Fear
period.
Factory.
Even
They
I've
were
heard
doing
of Ministry.
Demanufacture.
I was like, well,
Yeah, they blasted out some classics as well, but still, I was still not missing the D&D, but it's like wish some of them were here. You know, people who want to be. We'd have a laugh, definitely have a laugh. But until then, we'll have to have a laugh here with Mortal Gagonian, dwarven artificer, who finally found the fucking book he was looking for this whole damn time. Several acid pits and ballistas to several of his friends' faces later. He feels pretty good, but poor Green.
everything is fine. Yeah, I was going to say.
He's kind of feeling really bad about what Green went through in there. Because he kind of did insist we go in. So
I think we all feel bad for Green at this point in time.
We do.
It has been quite a while, I think, since I've had a dungeon where folks' experiences of it was quite as different as this one was, right? Where everyone is just kind of like, oh yeah, like, but I thought it was okay. And, that some people Green is still dealing with trauma. So there's all that. Yeah. But always a pleasure to have Saber with us as well. I think I finally managed to capture everybody on stream, and y'all in chat are going to have to remember their names because I'm not going to go do that again. So Saber's with us playing Mortal Gagonian. Can't wait to see what he gets up to. That leads us to, of course, Mike, who is in the center of your stream. And Mike's mic quality, the quality of Mike will be amazing today. It's an inside green room joke. How you doing, Mike? How's Wholesome Horror Gaming? How is everything going with you? And who are you playing today?
I am going good, to be honest with you. I've been very excited to play Dungeons and Dragons with my favorite internet people. And how is Wholesome Horror Gaming going? Well, I'm going on a bit of a horror point and click binge at the moment. We just completed Darkseed after only playing it for about 300 hours and trying to figure out how on earth we complete it.
How many dead ends did you get?
Oh, I had to hard reset the game at least 4 or 5 times, where I was like properly stuck for like 20 minutes until someone eventually, I have a safe word like in chat, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually stuck, and someone's like, yeah, you missed it like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, god damn it. You didn't see that one pixel on that one moment of that one day. You have to now go back to the entire start of the game. I'm like, of course I do. Amazing. Because point and click adventure games in the 90s were made by sadists. I have discovered this, and horror ones specifically were just made by sadists who were really stoned all the time. That's all I'm going to say. But if you like that sort of thing, you can come and check out horror point and click games. But today, you're going to be checking out the Aberrant Mind half-elven sorcerer, Silvo Janus Betulus, who is, I don't know, getting to grips with his magic, but doesn't like the fact that other people now sort of, especially horrible tentacle monster gods, now know he exists. So he's kind of, I don't know, he's not vibing with this latest turn of events, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Agreed to all of that. I know we just had a dropout. Did we maybe? Possibly? So, again, just before, so far so good for the most part, but I'm going to warn everybody in chat, and if people come in and they're like, wow, this seems like the quality is way off. What the hell's going on? Why is Art wearing a blue shirt? Like I say, I'm out in the Pacific Northwest. I am currently tethering, so I'm using my phone as a mobile hotspot to be able to get out to the rest of it, which is like, for those of you who know what this means, I have a 30 ping, I have about a 3.6 download, and a 3.8 upload, all of which is to say that's real low when I'm also running 2 instances of Roll20 and a Zoom call. So this is very shaky, and I'm just crossing my fingers that, the world stays with us. But if people come in, they're like, what's going on? Like, please just explain to them. listen, you're getting D&D. We're doing the best we can. And next week I'll be back with my normal stuff. So anyway, it is a pleasure to have Mike and Silva with us today, and I look forward to more of this time to talk. On we go with Ananda. It is good to see you, Ananda. I hope you're hanging in there okay as well. And how's the tricks with you, and who are you playing?
Yeah. It's been a time, as everyone knows, but I feel like I'm clawing my way out of it. The last couple of weeks have actually been really quite nice. My eldest son got married,
Hey,
and
congratulations.
then thank you. It was beautiful. And then last weekend I went to see Francois, another GOG Stream Team member, do a show up in North Norfolk, and it was fantastic, and he was fantastic in it. So I'm hoping, cross fingers, to start getting back to some semblance of normality and getting back into streaming again, because it feels like it's been so stinted recently. But fingers crossed, it will continue. And yeah, I'll be streaming on my own channel later on this week, or at least attempting to, barring major disasters. But yeah, really glad to be playing today. My stream has frozen for a little while, but hopefully it seems to be working again now. But yeah, today I'm going to be playing Brine the Bloodthirsty, who is a water genasi fighter pirate. Even though she can breathe underwater, I think she feels a little bit out of her depth at the moment with all of the shenanigans going on. But she's got her big girl pants on, and yeah, we will hopefully get through.
Hopefully, we'll see. I realized actually, someone pointed out, as you said right before we started on it, this is all method DMing, that I wanted to actually do the whole island thing, and it struck me like maybe I shouldn't be doing this as close to the ocean as I am. You will not tell the story of the hero slap. So maybe that's something to consider. Anyway, always a pleasure to have Ananda with us. And not last but least, because I'm going to save Fleos for last. Again, not being least, but because Fleos will not be with us for a little while after this because of job things. So I'm going to come next to Bruce, who is appropriately attired. As you can see, that right there is the Seattle Storm logo. I'm kidding. It's the Seattle Seahawks logo. It's the Seattle Seahawks logo. My son has a shirt with that too. So thank you very much. It is. See, I didn't realize that Green was an American football fan, but that seems, perfectly reasonable as a way for character development, and all that sort of thing. How are you, Bruce? How's everything with you? And who are you playing?
Oh, hi. Yeah, everything's going very well with me, thank you. The dogs are doing great. They're just lying on the bed like this. So that's a good sign. Yeah, things are going well. I have put up a curtain and I've got lampshades on my overhead lights now. Things that I thought I'd do a week after moving in and then 3.5 years later. And yeah, other than the fact that we discovered that my floor joists are rotten and need replacing
What?
before my living room falls into my kitchen,
Oh no.
everything's going well apart from that. And today I am playing Green, who is a very anxious, turtle cleric. He just likes things to be clean and tidy and has been on a search for inner peace and people who won't try to eat him. So yeah, hopefully no one will eat him today.
I look forward to non-consumption of turtles in this adventure. But always a pleasure to have Bruce with us. I am sorry to hear about the floor joists. That is terrible, and I hope that gets resolved. But in the meantime, I'm glad you are with us and visible and not plunged through a floor. And last but certainly not least, it is great to welcome our friend Fleos with us. Again, Fleos has been able to be with us for a couple of sessions this summer, which has been great. But all good things must come to an end, by which all of us in academia mean all of us must go back to school eventually. And so that's going to be happening coming up next, I guess, Cleo said next week. So the time is almost here. But otherwise, how have you been, Cleos? How's your summer been? And who were you playing?
Yeah, it's been a good summer thing. I've been glad to be able to be here for these last couple streams. I'm glad we were able to at least try it today. Hopefully it sticks through. If not, I mean that's life. But I appreciate you being willing to try it. I can't complain. It's been a pretty good summer. I did though with the family we went camping I think 2 weeks ago, and I haven't been camping since probably my early 20s. And I lying on the ground to sleep. It just no, no,
Not
no, no.
So you
Otherwise, it
didn't
was
have any
fun,
you
but it
didn't have
was
any
so I
like
was
animal
so
encounters. It was just a matter of the sleeping arrangements was the issue.
yeah. No, we didn't have it. We were inside. Like it's a national park that we were in, and there are a lot of people this year. Um, and so we didn't actually we saw a bunch of deer, but we didn't see anything bear like or anything like that. But it was no, it was a good time except for the sleeping arrangements. So now I understand why my parents bought a tent trailer when they were about my age. So um, as for, and I guess, yeah, I am going back to work next week. The students aren't back for 2 weeks, but teachers are back next week. So this is it. So I am playing a sea elf named Oceanus, who is a sidekick, a warrior class sidekick character who was rescued quite some time back now. He was a prisoner on a ship, had been sent by sea elves in Saltmarsh to go check stuff out, got captured, got saved by the rest of this wonderful party here, and has hung out. And right near the end of last session, opened up his mind in a way that probably wasn't advisable and nearly got taken over by some sort of evil tentacle monster, perhaps. Or it sure seemed that way. So that's what I remember as us leaving off. So
Yeah, that
you know.
was pretty much it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out what the party's going to do about all of that. So it's good to have everyone here. Let's see if we can get through this recap safely. I will, with some trepidation, fire up a bit of music here, although I don't know. We'll see if that's doable. Let's see. Okay, jukebox, turn that off. I feel like Saber the thing about being like I should bring back that music. You're like, no, not the not that music that played for like 20 years and whatever that finally I
I was
realized it
thinking
the
about that
non-double
this
time.
morning too. I was like, that music.
Yep.
I
Okay.
actually I can't remember what it now I'm thinking about it. I can't remember what it sounds like.
See, I knew that the time would pass. Just had to wait for nature is healing. Anyway, in our last session,
Whenever it's time of music, I always think talisman.
yeah, that's true. Yes, that's true. In our last session, our intrepid crew entered the Abbey. Sorry, that's a little loud. Let me turn that down a bit. Sorry, too loud, too loud. I don't want that much wind. I like wind, not that much. In our last session, our intrepid crew has been for some weeks, and some might even say a couple of weeks longer than I expected might happen, have been exploring this abbey on an evil isle. And they came here for two reasons. The first was to see if they could gather more information about what it is that has unified the Sahuagin, the enemy of all coastal folk here in Greyhawk. What has unified them together to be the threat that they clearly are, as there is an incoming invasion at some point. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is to see if they can find a link to the undead attacks on the town of Saltmarsh that have also been part of the character's experience, let's put it that way, and see if they can track that down. Well, they got plenty of information about the second, because, oh boy, did they find every conceivable undead creature they could find down here. Not every inconceivable one. They haven't stumbled upon the secret den of vampires. Just kidding. But they have been able to find a dune fold of skeletons. They have found massive zombie ogres. They have discovered specters and ghasts and all kinds of creatures down here, along with a group of evil cultists that apparently had been stranded on this island, and the party eventually had to try to bring to heel. They thought they had done that, and then they decided that they would do a bit of exploration. There's some dispute as to who actually started this, but Morthwell seems to be taking it on himself, so we'll just blame Morthwell, to go down and actually explore it and find all the loot down there. Now, in fairness, they did find a good deal of loot, and they also managed to find some secret information, apparently, regarding an imminent attack upon the coastal town of Saltmarsh and its environs. So they have found some of what they need. So far, so good. Then something funny happened on the way to the forum, because as they're leaving, the party discovers, as they're standing outside in the cliff, that the prisoners that they had left outside have been killed, apparently, slaughtered. And while they are standing at the edge of the cliff, looking down, there was this these waves and sort of even more than normal. And Oceanus, and then I believe, I don't remember actually if Silvo also was touched by this creature, but Silvo is certainly familiar with what this might sound like. But at the very least, Oceanus had an interaction with some creature that claimed that he, Oceanus, and the others in the party, and all the civilized folk of the land would be consumed by the sea and destroyed by this creature's attack. I shouldn't say the creature, by the attack of something or other. It was all a little bit obscure, but the idea was that there is some imminent problem that the party is going to have to deal with relating to this invasion. And it was just, I believe, after that we brought our session to a close, leaving Oceanus with this awareness that something has happened. I think also, as I'm looking at the map, when we came back down, when you went back down into the Abbey, you went into the statue room, right? And it may have been in the statue room that you actually found the plans that we were talking about. I think I forgot that that's where we ended up. So I think that's where you had with those attack plans below one of these statues. And I think that was where we brought our session to close. So I'm now going to hand things back over to the party and ask them, you have found this text and this sort of evil Librum, apparently, this book that looks dangerous as well. What would the party like to do?
I think, if memory serves, we were outside at the end of the last session.
Oh, were you back outside?
Because
I thought that you... Okay.
yeah,
maybe I'm
We
wrong.
were
because the
standing at the cliff.
we were standing at the cliff. The people
I
that
believe so.
No,
were waiting
we
for
did
us
that
had
in the.
gone.
No,
We
you
saw
did the
that, but we
cliff
didn't
and...
come back in again. 'Cause that's when
Exactly.
we found the book.
Exactly. You did the cliff and came
did
back
we?
under
Oh.
came back
Did we?
downstairs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah,
I
just
can't
at the
remember
just
what
at the
happened.
very end
If
of
we
it.
did, yeah.
Because I think we resorted to, right, let's make sure we haven't missed it in an obvious place and just searched all the easy rooms. And then,
Yeah.
oh, look, it's exactly the place we've been joking about for 3 sessions.
That's right.
So just to remind myself, did we get like the actual, like, what did we get, like the big book of evil plans
Yes.
that we were actually looking for?
A gilded tome in dark and purple red, written in 2 languages, Aquan and Unknown, translated title, The Final Stage.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely Big Bad Plan, isn't it? Okay, cool.
And I believe we were translated as Saltmarsh is currently next in line on their schedule, I believe, was where we left it.
That's right.
Just a list of like coastal towns with lines through them.
And I wrote down that the date is a week from today.
That's right. And I should point out, by the way, because that's a very good way of describing it. It does look essentially like a list of more or less like not exactly battle plans. I don't want to make it seem like it has like distribution of forces, but definitely like what everything looks like in terms of how things are going to happen. And in fact, the one correction I'll make is Saltmarsh is going to be basically the first major one on the list. But after that, you see coastal town after coastal town, and then interior towns being mentioned as part of this list. So Saltmarsh is the tip of the spear, if you will.
I'd like to ask Silvo to ask Oceanus if he recognizes I can't remember the name of the lizard people settlement, but are they listed?
You don't like doing the broken English thing? Okay. I mean, common. Sorry.
It's more about efficiency in this case, buddy.
I can translate if necessary.
Yeah, I'm also happy to translate.
Okay.
It's true.
I can't read this.
Everyone else can say it. So it was. I believe we actually checked it, and no one was able to read the language. But
Was it in Aquan and another language?
another language.
I believe the Aquan was like a more recent translation when we
That's
looked
right.
at the book.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's unlikely to be written in Elvish or Deep Speech, so I think that pretty much rules Silver out.
That's right.
Shall we rush back to our boat before
We need to figure this out
Kraken-
on the way. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We can look at the book on the way.
Last time a Kraken was involved, we were on the boat. Now we're on an island. I don't know what a
I
Kraken can
vote-
do to an island, and I don't want to write a first-hand account, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I vote we leave.
I
And
vote
also-
we yeet ourselves.
Well, we have to get across the
Green
dunes,
would
so
like
that might be a
to
thing.
use a bonus action to go into his shell, and if somebody sticks like a firework in the end or something, or a fire extinguisher, you just shoot
Why?
me to the boat.
I've been playing a lot of Peak lately, and launching yourself is not as easy as you would think it would be. So.
Yeah, this is feeling very Kerbal Space
I don't
Project
know.
to me,
Mortal's got a
actually.
hell of a bag of tricks. Yeah.
How did you know I was looking at my spell list?
I was gonna say, like,
I still got
propulsion
one up my
rocket.
sleeve.
Yeah.
We may not have got that long
rocket.
rest, but I still got one up my sleeve.
We just have like a cutscene to
I
the
could,
council.
but then I'd be useless.
We have a cutscene to the council meeting where just like I don't know if we could do this, and then just Green's shell just smashes through the windows onto the table and like spins, yeah, we got a problem. Okay, is the
Ultimate
party in
siege
agreement
weapon
that
is
you folks are?
airborne turtle.
That's right. And also for chats, and I know Pyre mentioned this too.
So Oceanus
There's a big
will kind of,
delay
like,
in speaking, so that's that's going to continue to happen, and I'm sorry, because of the internet situation. But go ahead, Flynn.
Oh, I was saying Oceanus would just go back up the stairs and kind of take a look and make sure that there's no tentacle monster outside the door or something trying to take over the world.
Does not appear to be.
I mean, in fairness, I could probably do that. I'm still invisible, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do we want to
I've
take
been
some
looking at this whole time.
Do we want to take some
The
undead monsters
voice.
with us before we leave? Do we want to
Somewhat
take
not.
any of the
There's plenty
undeads
more
with
of them
us?
on the beach.
Okay.
I think the problem has been rather too much undead, hasn't it?
We
Yeah.
left two ghasts, like floating ghost creatures, in one of those rooms. Do we want to see if we can do anything to, I don't know, release them from their servitude?
I think that's the least of our worries at the moment.
That could be part of a cleanup operation.
Well,
Maybe we could
yeah.
take them with us.
Yes, you could.
If I've got the amulet on.
Now, what are the chances of us getting shot at with arrows if we approach this shore with a couple of ghosts alongside us?
I mean, it's not zero.
Possibly high, and it might limit what I can do in what I understand is going to be an ensuing battle when we get back to Saltmarsh. I think that the fact that the timeline puts this as a week away, I think we need to get back and start rallying the troops to protect Saltmarsh before it is the first casualty of war.
I've got some work I need to do if we've got that amount of time.
Sorry, just a question, table talk question. How far away is this island from the main shore or the mainland? Is it just like a couple hours, or is this a day, or?
I wanted to say like a day or so. I can't remember.
It's probably around a day's travel, you believe, assuming that everything is okay on the way back, and you don't have any, Greek mythology, Poseidon getting mad at you type of thing. But assuming that's not the case, then yes, about it.
Just a Leviathan, it's fine.
Yeah, I think we need to get back.
Yeah.
Fair dues. Silvo heads outside, see if there's any land-born tentacle monsters waiting for us.
Oceanus puts a comforting hand on Green's shell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Let's
you
get
lot.
out
Let's
of
get
this
out of Dodge.
hellhole.
Let's
All
get out
right.
of Dodge. Come on.
Let me move us back up top then. Hold on. Rooting power to shields, by which I mean roll 20.
I did it.
Let's see. All right. Gradually opening up, I think. Should be there. It's loading slowly, maybe. All right. I think should have brought us back up in just a minute, or will have brought us back up to there. Okay. So now I think chat should be able to see it. Hopefully the players can as well. Are you seeing the above ground island? I hope.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, great.
On
Yeah.
roll 20.
Yeah,
yes.
I can
Lovely.
It's
see
not on stream yet, but it might be in a minute.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is now on stream. It looks like it is from the OBS side of things. I hope.
Hey, there we go.
Okay, great.
Great, lovely.
I do have some lag anyway. So
Yeah, I know this. That's exactly. Okay, so right, having moved back up, you do not see any tentacle creatures up there, Oceanus, nor have you heard anything else. Just the sweeping of the wind across the plains, as we previously discussed, and that's it. You could go back to the cliff's edge if you want, which is the one to the west side of the island, but otherwise you'd have to head south. And then trace your path back through the skeletal dunes to see, like to try to avoid getting into any fisticuffs if you wanted to do that.
I think that we should well, let's get back to the boat.
I think we have to. Am I right in saying that Waves knows the way through the dunes to avoid activating the dead?
Theoretically.
Don't I have a map? I think we drew a map.
You did draw a map.
Photographic memory.
Yeah, photographic memory, right?
Photographic memory.
Actually, no, because Waves wouldn't be
I
able to
don't-
draw a map because Waves would have had to have seen a map to copy it, though, right? Because
Yeah, I
otherwise
can
it's
only
an
draw a
original
map
work
if
of
I've
art.
seen it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
we
I can-
if we make Waves, okay, wild idea, make Waves face the abbey and walk backwards the way they walked through the dunes.
That's not how a kangaroo works, but thank you.
I am.
I don't know how a kenku works. I've never seen a kenku before. You've been doing great things.
You've built up a lot of faith in you with your actions so far, Waves.
Okay, I have just popped up on
Even if they are all
stream.
copied.
I've popped up on stream and in Roll20 the path that you drew previously. I do note with some amusement that the only one that's visible, the token that's visible on top, is green. It's sort of terrified, like as if I somehow escaped after all of this. But that line is what you drew through. That's the path you took to avoid. Apparently, you did have one attack, but I think
we
that was all.
trampled. We all trampled through there. We're gonna find it. I'm not worried. So
That's not how sand works.
I stride ahead, full of positivity.
I'm gonna
I am
I'm gonna
10
follow
feet.
Waves.
10
Yes,
20
I'm going
feet
to follow
behind.
remembering the 100 feet distinction from last time.
I am at a safe distance.
Combat stars, you're 500 feet away. What?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so the person
that's right.
leading
That's
is
right.
Waves, I believe. Then
Yeah, sure.
I
Why not?
believe so. Yes. Currently it's
Okay.
green.
so Waves at that spot that you
Also, I
are.
might have the best deck save.
That's right. At
This
the
is
spot
marching order,
True.
not distance. I just want to clarify.
at the spot where you are, Waves. If you
Well,
could make a perception check for me, please. There.
12.
Okay. So yes, so far you do not see any skeletons rising from dunes. In fact, somewhat disturbingly, a lot of the visible bones, like you may remember when you came down here, you would see like the top of a flag, like a ragged flag in the dune, or you would see like a foot, a skeletal foot sticking up or whatever. You don't see any of those right now. In fact, right now it looks like a very peaceful dune sea. That's what you see at the moment.
Wonderful.
Does
Only one
anyone else
piece.
get really worried when you're asked to do a perception check and then you roll an okay, like, but lowish number, and then the DM's like, yeah, you don't see anything, carry on. It's like,
Doesn't look trapped at all. Why don't you
Yeah.
try the handle?
You know,
Do we
with
have a?
Arf, I'm only really worried when he says with a certain tone of voice, "You can do that." That's what I'm like.
You can certainly try.
You could certainly
What I got
try.
being an artificer is I make him go, wait, can you do that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. On more than one occasion, that's true. All of you have done that actually
Question,
at
do we
some
have a
point
map
or
of
another.
these
So.
dunes?
Yes, you have a map that you've been able to use to sort of that you followed on the way in, which is why you sort of limited the number of attacks that you had. But the map showed, like, as you were walking through the dunes, there were all these objects that seem to be gone now, which seems strange. Also, I wanted to ask, too, you still have the amulet, Brian, yes? I just wanted to make sure you do or do not have it.
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay. So thanks. No reason.
Should we make a map of the path that we're taking? If we have a copy of the map?
nah, we're never coming back here.
We're not, but other people will be coming back here, and we could sell that map to them.
I was thinking of handing a map over to the council at least, for they can send better paid and supplied troops here to clean up the catacombs.
All right, Captain Moneybags. Clearly, you don't need earn some extra.
Wait,
coins
we
to pay
cleared the
off
place
criminal
out, right? Then we
organisation.
sell the map. We get money for the map.
No, we didn't clear the place out. There's still shit down there.
I know.
There's
wanna
a
go back
still,
in?
there's a
I've had enough.
there's a murder statue. There's a...
There's also a jade statue that's in
Yeah.
pieces.
Well, yeah, but most of
Oh,
that's
I've
in the
got
bag
most of that
holding.
in the bag.
Yeah. It's when we empty it all out to sell it and it reconstructs itself in the middle of Saltmarsh. That's when we've got to worry.
Look, the laws are very, very clear about ruined fortresses and loot. Finders
Yes.
keepers.
Yeah, absolutely. Salvage fees.
It's not theft.
No. It's not. It's liberation. It's fine. Just ask the British Empire. Yeah.
I'm putting this in a museum.
Yeah. Wait, that's ours. Wait, that's still ours.
Too soon.
I would like
Too
to.
soon.
Yeah. It's always never not going to be too soon. Doesn't mean it's not true. I would like to try and make a map of the direction we're taking through the dunes.
Okay,
I think Martha would be doing something similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a precaution.
that sounds good. While you're making the
Ow.
map, Oceanus, just so you know, Flayas, I'm aware that your token's not on there. I'm just nervous about touching anything and making it break, but I'm aware
Yeah,
that you're
that's
there
fair.
in
That's-
the group. So
I'm hanging out with Silvo and Green.
okay,
But-
that's what I figured.
Yeah,
We'll just-
That's what I figured.
someone wants to go behind
I'm very
me in
happy
the...
that we.
Creed, would you like to go in the middle of us? It's probably a bit safer. Or do you just want to get out of here first? I don't blame you either way.
Yes, you're right. I'll go in the middle. And Green is like he's like got his broom and he's just like tapping the floor in front of him and he's looking around for like boulders that are gonna fall out of the sky. He's like he can't wait to get out of here. You know, I know we found some treasures here or whatever, but the only treasure he cares about is inner peace, and he did not find that here.
That treasure was not
Absolutely
lootable.
not.
Waves, you were going to say
Yeah,
something.
It's only funny when it happens to Silvo anyway.
Hey,
Go ahead,
just
Waves.
because I come back occasionally.
So, because we're approaching the boat, or at least the direction where I think the boat should still be, my mood is definitely up. So while I'm walking through the dunes, I'm going to sing a little song, I thought. So, about ships, and about how people should be nice about ships. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Okay.
It's okay to not like ships. It's okay. Why don't be a dick about it? It's okay to not like ships. Don't be a dick about the ships you don't like.
That might have been recorded for a different context, but I still like it.
Perfect. 10 out of 10.
So as you're singing this
Oh, I
song,
just got the context.
as you're singing this song, at Waves, I need you to make another perception check. By the way, the Waves voice echoes through the dunes, just like, these like ships, and you just hear it like
Yes,
floating
it's
over the
definitely got a bit of
island. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Does sand echo? I feel like sand would be an excellent absorber of sound.
In the
but,
distance, you see a ship going past, and another myth has spawned.
I feel like Waves is shooting it above the sand, like so powerful is Waves context. So what do we a 19? Okay. Waves, and I was only partially joking. It's not the song itself, but you do notice that the sound seems to be almost rippling the sand as you sing. Which, to be clear, I have great confidence in your voice and all that, but I don't think that Waves is actually capable of moving sand normally with one's voice. But the sand seems to be reacting to
Nope.
your voice.
Why do I hear tension music? Yeah, do I see that?
It's that tavern music again.
Perception. Let's see if you do, Morthwell.
All right, perception. All right. 11. Well, it's definitely sand getting in me cracks.
Yeah, you definitely see sand rippling, but you don't know whether it's specific to.
I'm just looking at it going,
Waves.
oh, I'll need to tighten my boots. That's going to get inside.
Exactly.
You don't want sand in your shoes.
But I also want to mention that Brian, actually make a perception check for me, please, Brian, as well.
I can indeed. I'm also being like hyper vigilant as I'm following.
I assumed.
Perception, you say?
Yes.
21, not nat.
Nice. Brian, you get this weird sort of hair on the back of your neck style sort of sensation. And you feel like you hear a kind of, how would I describe it? A rumbling sound might be the way to describe it from behind you.
Does it sound like it's coming from beneath the sand?
Hard to say. It feels more like it's coming from behind you more than underneath you.
Is it getting louder? Is it getting closer?
Yes. It's both.
I think there's something following us. We need to either get moving fast or we need to stand our ground, but it does not sound good. Does anyone else hear that? And I try and mimic the rumbling.
Green, assuming that this is a boulder trap coming down the corridor that we're not in, absolutely blinking runs. I'm sorry, he's not waiting for anyone, he's going.
Is anyone looking behind them or just listening?
I'm going to turn around and look behind.
I would have looked back if Brian was shouting about that.
So what you see as you look...
Did you just go off the path?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, Green. Do you go off the path?
No. That was great.
That was a very pregnant pause. I just wanted no. Okay, so behind you, Brian, as you turn, and Morthwell, if you do the same, you can see that the sand dunes behind you seem to be rippling towards each other and then building as if you are now being followed by a wave of sand. And at the front of this wave of sand, you can see little bits of bone and skeletal hands reaching out of the sand wave in your general direction, Brian.
Okay, I'm just going to test the theory, and I'm going to hold the amulet and say stop.
Okay. So when you say stop, the wave builds up, and then there's this, and as you close your eyes, like sand kind of, sort of grit flies into you. But you then see standing before you hundreds and hundreds of skeletons. And they are all standing in a line some of them carrying ragged flags, some of them carrying, pikes and rusted swords and, things like that. All of them standing in a line facing you. And as you're sort of looking at them, holding this amulet and saying, stop, the whole line of them stiffens military style and puts hand over their heart.
Hand over there, what, sorry?
And puts their hand over their heart.
Hand
like a salute.
Okay.
I understood hand on her butt, and I was really confused.
No. That is definitively not what I meant.
I'm sorry. Can I see that from where I'm standing? Like the whole horde of skeletons in front of
I would think you
Brian?
could, yes. I would think you could.
Okay, then I'm gonna stare for a moment, and I'm gonna say,
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I don't think we're going to take them with us.
Morthwell nudges Brian and goes, tell them all to wave their left arm.
I indulge Morthwell and say, all of you, wave your left arm. If you don't have a left arm, wave your right one.
If you
I
have
don't have any arms at all.
Brilliant.
If you have a left leg, just use that. Okay. So
Come on, shake your leg.
You know that sequence in the Fellowship of the Ring film, in the prologue, where Elrond and the elves are facing Sauron's army, and there's this sequence where where Sauron's army comes into them, and the elves, like a wave, bring their blades up, so it's like blade, 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 like that. This is exactly the feel you get with the skeletons, where each one, left hand, left hand, left hand, left hand, all down the row. And so there is just wind, and then the sound of the clacking of bones, clack, 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 and then the last clack of the last left arm of the skeleton, echoing out over the water and then falling into silence.
Well,
I think we got some reinforcements.
I mean, they'd be very handy in a fight.
They would be handy in a fight, but we don't have a boat big enough.
They don't need to breathe.
They don't need to breathe.
Just tell them to walk to Saltmarsh.
Tell him to
Yeah,
meet
but
us
they
in
need-
Saltmarsh.
They need to be in line of sight. I mean, I could swim.
Oh,
Wouldn't be amazing though? Like Brian just coming with an entire army out of the water, like.
I mean, I'm back to the Lord of the Rings analogy.
Yep.
Where all the ghosts come off the boat.
And the dead followed,
Yep.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's
mean,
doable.
We could try it, but there is a massive Leviathan down there somewhere.
So we eat some skellies.
Yeah. If you see the skellies, leg it. If you see the Leviathan, leg it, sorry.
I think the Leviathan can probably swim faster than me, but I'm willing to give it a go.
Well, to be fair, if the Leviathan shows up, we're all a bit buggered, aren't we? Let's be honest. In that boat, we're all a bit screwed. So I reckon
If the
we just get
Leviathan
one.
shows up and you go out of view of the skeletons, then we're fighting a Leviathan and a horde of skeletons.
I
We
don't
won't
think
be
the
fighting
skeletons can swim, so I think we'll be all right if
The
they
Leviathan will finish us off way before the skeletons can.
I mean, I feel like if he was out to get us, he could just sit out there and starve us to death.
That's true.
I take-
And if I get out a few of the skeletons, they'll just stay on the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
I take out a rope from my backpack and mime tying it to Brian and tying it to the boat.
Depends how deep the sea is. I suppose,
It's the
like,
sea.
the ship will have an anchor, won't it? So we'll be able to judge how deep the water is.
Well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then there's a bunch of skeletons at the bottom of a crevice in the ocean. That's kind of taking care of two problems.
If it works, then it's going to be one hell of a story to tell at the tavern later.
They will write songs about it, Brand. They will write songs about it.
I mean, at just that comment, like, Brian's like, oh, No one's ever written a shanty about me before. All right, let's do it.
Given what we
I'm
know we're up
going
against, we
to.
can't not.
I'm going to. I'm assuming that like all of the rumble under the sand has all come to the surface now.
Yes, apparently.
Okay. I'm going to turn to the skeletons and ask them to follow us at a respectful distance, which means that they stay close enough that they can see me, but far enough away that they're not going to scare the rest of the party. I'll let you judge how far that is.
Okay. All right, so as you turn and begin to step away, you all hear this clack, 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 as like each step like rattles down the line as they just, march in a line across the sand, following Brian and the rest of you.
What are you doing?
Right, Green. I imagine. Did Green just now see this? By the way, like he's like turns around, is like,
Yeah.
"What the?" Oh man.
It's okay. They're with us.
We're ready to catch up now, so it looks like we'll be chased.
Yeah.
I brought some
Jack, stop the
reinforcements.
plane!
Start the boat. Start the boat.
When you get to
Green's
the
in the boat. He's trying the key. His hands are shaking.
yeah, he's like, why doesn't this work?
It's not starting.
Yeah. So actually, Green, when you get to the boat, you notice at first something a little odd about it, which is it's still there, it's still intact. It looks nothing seems to have happened to it, but you do notice that as the because remember you had basically this sort of like I guess we call it, it's more than a rowboat, but it's something which you took from the bigger ship. So you had this bigger ship that basically sailed you up, and then the little ship, you took a smaller ship, basically, because that was the only thing that would fit in this side. So when you get back to it, you can see that the smaller ship, that is your boat, is there, but it seems to be, like, perfectly still in the water, Green. Like, it's not rocking at all. It's just dead, as if it were on sand, which it clearly is not. It's just there, steady, not moving at all.
Could you just say that again? You were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you were a little choppy there.
So the little ship, the one that you had a big ship which took you up to the island. You had a little ship that basically allowed you to go the rest of the way, like a rowboat, more or less, a little bigger than that. But that rowboat is still there and intact, but it's being held in place steadily. It's not moving at all, even though it's clearly in the water. It's not rocking back and forth. It's just there as if it were on land.
I do an insight check to see, like, is a tentacle holding it in place? Is something,
I'd say that's perception more than insight, but yes, you could certainly do that.
Okay, that's fine.
It's just a tower of skeletons all the way down.
21.
21, yeah. As you look more closely, Green, you can see why. Indeed, there are stretched out skeletal hands holding on either side as if they were bearing the boat aloft. And you don't get the impression that they're like hiding from you, like they weren't like, oh no, she's seen us. Green's seen us. Like they're just holding the boat in place. And as you look, you can just below see the face, like grinning skull faces, as they are, their hands are holding the boat.
Cool. Green's gonna start running back the other way. No! No! Back!
Well, you run into waves if you're doing that.
And
Or
then
I
he's
guess,
gonna see
yeah.
the wall of skeletons just coming towards us. He's stuck. This is it. They're gonna eat him. It's the end.
The boat
Yeah.
skeletons aren't moving.
Can
So
I
it was
ask
like- They're with us, mate. Don't worry.
Can I ask a technical question?
Sure.
Can I speak underwater? I can.
It's a good question.
Okay.
I would assume you can, yes. just like
So
Oceanus
what I'm
could.
going to do is...
I'm fairly certain, yeah.
Okay.
Being water genasi, you have normal speech underwater.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Because if I'm stuck underwater with all these skeletons and can't tell them what to do, it's going to be a problem. Okay, is Green relaying this back to us? Me?
Not in as many words as you would maybe want. More in like a skeletons. So you know
The
there are
general vibe.
skeletons at the boat, but yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell the skeletons behind me to stop.
Okay, and they do clack, 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 clack.
And
I'm not gonna lose another boat.
Can we
So
see
I-
Can we see the big boat from here?
You cannot, but that's not that surprising. You know that you had to go a little bit out of the sort of visual sight line of the boat when you came in. So you'd have to go a little further out.
I draw my rapier and will approach the boat to see if I can find out what Green has seen. But just in case, I'm gonna already shout
The ship is ours!
Okay.
to potential boat thieves.
And where is Brine relative to this as you are going towards the boat? Like, is Brine next to you, or?
I'm
I
keeping the
don't think so.
skeletons behind me in line of sight, so I'm not going to go in front of the other party members where they can't see
Okay.
me. But I'm very much aware that I'm listening as to what's happening.
Okay. So as you get close to the bones, you see the skeletal hands waves, and as you get close to them and you walk over, you can see that they are holding this boat in place, and down below you can see that there are probably about 6 or 7 of them, you would guess, that have their skeletal feet in the sand below the water. It's a little shallow to begin with, and then they're holding up the boat, and they do not move as you get close. So they don't let go. They also don't attack you. They're just staying in place, and it does seem as if the boat is not moving in either direction, but it is accessible to you. That is to say, they're not holding it out of the water so you can't get on. They're just holding it in place.
Okay. I'm gonna take possession of the boat again. I'm gonna get in.
Okay, you do.
Want us to find the boat again? They could have just pushed it off the sand instead of holding it in place.
Okay.
They could have destroyed
I'm
it.
standing-
They could have done everything. It makes no sense why the skeletons would want to preserve the boat in this position. I
I'm
understand
standing on the
it
boat,
if-
right?
You're standing on the boat.
Very feeling about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on a boat.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I have a lot of ship-related buttons by now.
That I'm not surprised in the slightest.
So, okay, you're on the boat. What about everyone else?
Can I see
Silvo.
what's happening with the skeletons now on the boat?
They continue the skeleton again, and all of them are underneath, like the boat, like on the hull. So you can still see the hands there, just holding the boat in place, Brian.
Can Silvo get on the boat? Go, because presumably they're not all over the underneath of the boat. They're more congregated on one end that's more in the water. Correct.
No, they're actually underneath, sort of spaced out underneath the hull.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, you could certainly get on the boat. They're not blocking you from doing so.
Can I get on the boat and have a look over the edge of the boat to have a look? Are these just like regular skeletons? Are they dressed a certain way? Are they carrying anything?
Interesting.
They have propellers.
Let me have you make a perception check for this, Silvo. That's interesting.
That would be a great thing to do. Perception, you say?
Please.
That'd be a 10. They're
Yeah.
definitely made of bone.
They're definitely made of bone. No, I mean, one thing for certain is that they are all in a line doing the exact same kind of holding of the boat. They do look a little different from each other here and there, but there's no obvious pattern to you. But they're all with their heads kind of tilted over, so it's a little weird looking, obviously. Well, it's already a little weird looking, but more than that. Holding up with their hands the underside of the hull.
I don't know if I'm shocked or surprised that it's not the weirdest thing we've seen today. This is, on the scale of weird, this is actually kind of normal. I'm okay with this.
Welcome
It started attacking us. That's the weird bit.
Yeah.
Am I close
So we'll
enough?
just sort this down.
Go ahead, Brad.
Am I close enough and visible enough to say to the skeletons, release the boat?
You certainly could, yes.
Should I ask them to let it go?
He said it. Just pointing it out. He said, "You can do that."
I reckon we all get on the boat and see what happens.
I'm going to check to see if they've damaged it.
Okay.
All right,
Are you
get
all
on the boat? I'm going to have to swim with the skeletons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll say to Brian, my theory is if we have good skeletons, and he Silver points to the skeletons behind you, and bad skeletons, and he points to the ones under the boat, we've got a lot more good skeletons than we have bad skeletons. So in a pinch, yours could batter these ones. So I reckon we take our chances with the ones on the boat as well, because they could all be good skeletons. I mean, by that logic, they could also all be bad skeletons, but you know.
Well, you get in the boat. I'm going to have to swim with the skeletons anyway. So
Right.
I'm going to instruct the skeletons to release the boat.
Okay, Silver gets in the boat.
All right. So, excuse me. So they're on. So everybody is now on the boat except for Brian, who's underneath it or to the side of it, right? Basically, if I understand that
Did
correctly.
Green get on the boat? Or
That I was going to ask
He's
about.
working his way up to getting on the
Okay.
boat.
Okay.
You know,
Can
he's
I-
really thinking about it.
Can
No, he
Silver
will
extend his
see everyone
hand?
else on the boat, and we'll get on the boat.
Okay.
Can
Oceanus,
Silver
are you
extend his
on the
hand
boat?
to Green and say,
Sorry. Beg your pardon. Go ahead.
I think not Silva. Oceanus will assist Silva on trying to help Green on the boat, either on the boat, like extending a second hand, or out of the boat, trying to like arm along, like, okay, it's okay, we can do this, it's okay. Look, the skeletons are disappeared for. It's okay, we can do this. Right.
Gotcha.
Whichever
I
seems to
mean-
be most successful.
Yeah, talking is going to be more successful than reaching out your grubby, germ-laden hands. No offense.
"Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'll reach out," and you'll just be like, "I'm not touching that." Like,
Yeah. He's like prestidigitation, cleaning like the side of the boat so that he can climb in. Yeah.
so
These
Silver was just gonna
skeletons haven't been this clean in a long time.
Yep.
These are sparkly skeletons. Silver's just going to
I'm
say
gonna-
to Green, I think I weirdly have a feeling this is going to be okay. I don't know why, but I think we're going to be all right.
No, I've seen this before. What they do is they lead you into a boat and then out into the ocean, and then the tentacles come.
Wait, where have you seen this before?
In my mind.
Like, recently? Is this like a dream or like a vision?
Oh, about 30 seconds ago.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Silver takes out the orb, the crystal ball that he's got. He's going to give it to Green. He's going to say, concentrate really hard on this. Clean it if you want. It's absolutely fine. Concentrate really hard on this. And if anything appears like that, let me know. Because this sometimes gives you glimpses of possible futures.
Green's gonna stare
saw
very
this.
intently.
I knew this was coming.
I would like a wisdom check from Green, please. Mm,
5.
Yeah, you see a whole lot of crystal ball and not much else green.
Darkness. There is only darkness in my future.
Well, listen, it either works or it doesn't. No refunds, all right?
So when assuming you were able to eventually, Green is eventually persuaded to be on the boat. Brian, so you are now.
Are you?
Yeah. It's because it sounded like you were in that direction. When that happens, Brian, you are swimming underneath, right? Basically, as I understand it.
I'm going to instruct the skeletons to release the boat.
Okay.
And then I'm going to instruct the other skeletons to basically get in the water with me and follow me.
Okay. So
I still would like to tie Brian to the boat, just in case of currents or any other problems.
We can do that when we get to the big boat.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're going to be in the shallows at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, and when Brian, when you do that, the skeletal hands immediately let the boat go, and there's a moment, I thought about whether I should make everyone do a dexterity check, but it's not that bad. But there is a moment where the boat sort of rocks alarmingly as it's dropped by the hands. But then the skeletons, the ones that are behind you, follow you in. The ones that were near the boat, Brian, they basically make the equivalent of what you would describe almost like an honor guard. I mentioned there were 6 of them, and there's like basically 3 on each side of the boat. Now, you could certainly order them go back with the other skeletons if you want, but right now they have let the boat go, but they seem to be sort of parallel next to it, 3 to the left of the hull, 3 to the right of the hull, as if they're in formation. But they haven't grabbed the boat, they let it go as you instructed.
What I'd like to instruct those specific skeletons to do is to basically, like, because we're still in the shallows at the moment, so
Right.
until it gets too deep so they can't hold on to the boat, to basically give it a bit of a push and get it to the big boat as fast as possible, so
Okay.
we're not so vulnerable in the water.
Okay. So as you all get in the boat and do this, and this is funny because I was just in a motorboat a few days ago. Those of you who've ever been in a power boat or a motorboat, you'll know that as you're going along, the boat is level like this, but when the engine really kicks in, the boat tips up a little bit like this because the engine, the propeller in the back of the boat is really kicking the water. So there's a moment where the boat sort of tips back and like you are being pushed inexorably and swiftly along. And behind, you can see the churn of the waves behind you. And Brian, as you're sort of swimming along, you can see below, and Oceanus, assuming you're in the water as well. But tell me, Oceanus, if you're on the boat. Are you on the boat, Oceanus, or are you in the water?
Oh, Oceanus is going to jump in the boat, yeah.
Okay, so from the water
Unless you're
side, Brian, you can see these skeletons basically like marching swiftly along, with their feet just digging into the sand below with no difficulty at all, and like propelling. Oops, sorry. I kicked my headphones out because that makes sense. Wait a second. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. The boat is being pushed along behind, as the skeletons sort of push it from behind as you instructed. And behind you, as you look, just line after line of skeletal feet and then legs and then, as like just walking it and then torsos and just an entire line of skeletons walking underneath the water following you.
Brian is feeling badass at the moment, by the way.
I want to walk up to the bow of my fast boat.
Yeah.
And like stand there.
Dramatically with like the wind blowing your feathers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean it looks tremendous.
Yes.
George Washington crossing
yeah.
I was thinking about doing bagpipes for this, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate.
I was waiting for Morthwell to shoot off some fireworks and Green to just be in a shell. Is basically what I was imagining. So
Green's like curled up at the bottom of the boat. He's talking to himself, just calm meditations. You're on a calm ocean. You're on a boat. It's moving so quickly. There are skeleton hands clicking against the bow.
Or green. So the boat swiftly moves, and probably, I don't know, maybe a half hour, let's say, you find yourself sort of having cleared the shoals around the island, and you're heading towards the larger boat. And as you get towards it, you can actually see the place that's there, this sort of larger ship. Now, the person who's on the larger ship is someone with whom you were familiar before. This is a person who sort of took you part of the way. You might remember the lighthouse keeper, who explained a little bit about the island and stuff like that. So you're pretty sure that you see from your boat, you can see this person like doing the classic telescope, looking out towards the boat as you come, and then you can see him lower the telescope. And Brian, it's probably at this point that it occurs to you that, like, in the time period that we're discussing, in the relative technological era, the whole powerboat, motorboat thing I described is not a thing, right? Like, that's not what happens. So what the lighthouse keeper apparently is seeing is a slightly tipped, elevated boat moving at speed towards the large boat. And you begin to see and hear like dong 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 dong, like alarm bells going off on the big ship.
I can't do anything about that at the moment. I'm underwater. I don't think they'd hear me.
Right.
Mortal's going to pop a signal flare.
Okay. All right, you do, and the alarm bell stops. But as you all draw closer, you can see just an array of like people with crossbows and like arrows, like all of them sort of like crouched at the edge of the boat, at their big boat, as your small boat is sort of heading up towards it. And you can very much feel the tension in the air as you pull alongside. As you get close, I assume at some point, Brian, you instruct everyone to kind of instruct the skeletons to dial it back before they run into the boat, I assume at some point.
Yeah, slow down, let go of the boat, let them find their way in, like, themselves.
And they do.
To join the ranks behind me.
And they do all of that. By that point, they were basically swimming, not pushing, off the ground because we had passed the shallows. So they go back to the other skeletons. And as you come up, the lighthouse keepers at the front says, Are you the party that was dropped off there before in the isle? Stand your ground. As your boat is floating.
I'm underwater, I'm not replying.
Yeah, no,
that's us.
Yeah, it's us.
What? And they,
I mean, you don't mistake this one, right? Pointing at waves.
And he looks down and says, what exactly, how are you doing what was just happening there? How did you get the boat to move that way?
They might be happier if they don't know that. Which I must.
You don't want to know, just let me in the boat.
Technically not a lie, everyone. It's magic. Don't worry about it.
He sort of looks down. He says, I don't recognize that one. And he points at Oceanus and says, and what happened to the other one? The Genasi that you had?
Hello.
The Genasi's in the water.
Says Oceanus. Not understanding anything.
He sort of, he vaguely nods at you, like 5 guys next to him with their bows are sort of like, sort of tilted. Brian, I'm sorry, did you say that, Brian, like, you're still under the water, obviously, so you're going to stay there for the moment, I assume?
I'm still in the water. I'm going to kind of, still staying in eye line of the skeletons. I'm going to bob up and, like, wave and just say, I'm going to swim. But let the guys on board. Come on, what are we waiting for? We need to get out of here. We need to get back to Saltmarsh. And then I'm going to dive back down.
Okay.
Yeah, she's down there to make sure nothing tries to eat us, basically. So we better get a move on.
There's a cry from the top of the crow's nest on top of the big boat. And one of them says, Oi! Captain! And the lighthouse keeper kind of looks up. I'm a little busy. And the says, no, there's something, there's a great wave of white down there behind the boat. And so, again, lighthouse keeper does the classic telescope thing and looks down and then sort of like clicks the collapsible well, I guess it's not collapsible, that's too modern, but just sort of lowers it and says, "What's under the water behind you exactly?"
Are we on the ship or still on ours?
You're still on yours, although you're just pulling up to the side now. They haven't thrown ladders down to you. There's still bows and crossbows drawn.
We'd be happy to explain all of that, but we need to get aboard ASAP and get underway. We can explain everything as we're moving. There's something of a time issue we've discovered.
And the lighthouse keeper nods slowly and he says, "I got word from the mainland that there's a big council that's being summoned, but he kind of looks down, looks very uncertain. Morthwell, make a persuasion check for me. This isn't a super difficult one, but
Persuasion. Okay. Why is it always me?
yeah, that's fine.
Too honest.
That's fine. 7 is okay. I was actually waiting to see if you were going to crit fail the persuasion in case he was going to be like, "Get away from me, Satan." No. But no, he doesn't do that.
Well, with an inspiration.
Yeah, that's true. But no. Actually, not
Right,
difficult. The fact that you're this close now, it looks similar. So he says, "All right, we'll tie your boat on board. Throw them down a ladder." And you hear this voice say, "Captain, you don't even know. I didn't ask you for questions. Don't tell me your thoughts. Just throw down a rope." So you see a rope ladder flies over the side of the ship. The crossbows and the arrows, the regular bows, are slowly withdrawn, and the rope ladder comes down to the side of the boat.
Green's right up there. He's not like women and children first. He's, not going to be proud of himself later, but once you've been under threat of being eaten once, you don't need that again. You know what I mean? He might even just slap other people out of the way.
Just throws Silvo into the water. Goddamn way.
A skeleton hand helps him back onto the boat.
Or somebody think of the clerics.
What of the healers?
It's a t-shirt.
Won't somebody? Yeah, that is a good t-shirt. Won't somebody think of the clerics? Yeah, go ahead, please.
As soon as I get on board, I would like to look for a longer rope and throw it down to Brian.
Okay, you can definitely do that.
I'll be climbing myself up.
Okay.
Yep, climbing on the boat.
Hey.
Okay, so everyone is on board except for Brian.
Can I ask a
Sure.
Can I ask a question? It's more of a technical question that hopefully, with my nautical knowledge, I would know the answer to. Are the skeletons and I going to be able to keep up with the big boat?
You could, if it was under full sail, you probably would not be able to sustain keeping up with it over long distances individually. But, relatively speaking, we're not talking about completely open sea, right? I mean, you're heading towards the coast. So, and also there's a lot of people on this boat. And so that may help slow things down a little bit. You don't know about how fast the skeletons are going to move because they clearly are not swimming. They're basically just under the water, like walking along the seafloor for the most part. So, they probably would not arrive at the same time. They would not, walking speed, keep up with the boat, even under half sail, you think. You could probably if it's half sail, but the skeletons probably not.
Okay, I'm gonna bob to the surface of the water. And I'm going to whistle to get the attention of Silvo. And then, assuming that he pays attention to what I'm doing, I'm going to do my scrunched up face and then that he obviously knows.
I open a mind link to Brian. I'm like, yeah.
Silver!
Inside voice, inside voice. I actually think you're being too loud for your own microphone, Ananda.
Am I? All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, in my slightly louder than inside voice, I'm going to say, I don't know how fast the skeletons are, so I can't be tied to the boat in case I leave them behind. But make sure that the people at Saltmarsh aren't going to immediately kill me when they see me with an army of skeletons.
Got it. Don't kill you. Don't kill the army of skeletons. We will meet you in Saltmarsh.
And I'm gonna give them the finger guns as I like lower under the water, a little bit like the Terminator.
The Terminator
but
with
not-
the thumb. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll spin around to Waves, who is probably trying to get a big enough rope for Brian, and be like, Brian said not to tie her to the boat. She doesn't know how fast she and the skeletons are going to be able to travel, so she's going to meet us at Saltmarsh. But we need to make sure that they don't attack the skeletons or her when they arrive. So we need to make sure they know. However, Silver is not saying this very quietly, so it's entirely possible that Major Ursa has just overheard this.
I will make. I'm going to find out.
He's not whispered this because he's got outside voice ringing in his head, so he has to be a little louder than he needs to be.
Roll me eyes. So much for the subtle approach about broaching the subject.
Hey, I said on the little boat that we should be honest with them, all right?
I was going to be honest, just in a quieter place where mass panic was less likely to break out.
They'll be fine. No, you're right. They probably won't be.
All right, hang on.
I'll stand at the edge of the boat for a moment and staring down at the water worryingly. Because I'm not sure I want to arrive at Saltmarsh without Brian. I'd rather leave the skeletons behind on the ocean floor. But yeah, I'm just standing there.
If it takes us about a day to travel by boat, it's definitely going to take a day or longer to swim. Like even if Brian's just taking the shallows.
Right. So, as far as whether it doesn't actually seem like that the lighthouse keeper heard what you were saying, probably too preoccupied with, making orders to go do this or whatever. So you think you actually were not overheard, in this particular case. As far as the time frame is concerned, you won't know entirely, although the boat there, the crew seems none too excited to stick around, so they seem very happy to be heading back to Saltmarsh. So they will go at a pretty good clip. Probably, you would guess, because they won't be stopping at the lighthouse this time. They would just go directly back to Saltmarsh. So you would assume that would be about a little less than a day's travel if all goes well.
A day as in a day or 24 hours?
No, more like a day. More like 11, 12 hours probably, you would think.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd rather we didn't split up because as well we just had the hint of, oh, there's a call of the council or whatever, so there's probably something going on there and we don't want Brian to be arriving with these skeletons like a day after a really important council meeting or something.
True, but we don't want to all arrive late with the skeletons and them not know they're coming in advance.
Yeah. So I'm on team.
You know what? Sorry?
I'm on team. Leave the skeletons behind.
Oh, leave the skeletons fully behind. I don't know. They'd be right tasty and
Oceanus
big
pops
bite.
up. They're not expecting me. They expect you. Brian is probably the best speaker among you. She's your leader. I think she's your leader. I don't know if that's true or not. She should be here with you. I will lead the skeletons. No one's expecting me. Please just don't have them kill me when I show up.
That's a good idea.
Silver looks at Oceanus. Are you sure?
I think I'm sure.
All right. I'll yell back down to Brian in my best telepathic inside voice. Change of plan. You hop on board, give Oceanus the medal, he will swim, then the original... Why is Morphle like this all of a sudden?
Well, I can't hear the conversation. But as a player, I'm like, no, go in the water and get the amulet. Don't come out of the water with the amulet.
Yeah, that probably would have been a wiser idea, to be honest with you.
Morphle doesn't know, but I'm horrified.
No, that's probably what it. No, I'm not gonna retcon that. Yeah, you and Oceana swap places. That's what I'm gonna do. You and Oceana swap places. They're not expecting him, as he's just said, but they are expecting you, and you are kind of an important part of the party. So we want you to be there, especially if there's this big council.
I'm just, for dotting I's and crossing T's, I'm just going to reply back to Silvo in my not so inside voice. Tell Oceanus to come down here just to make sure the skeletons can understand his language.
Okay. And he leans over to Oceana and says, "She said."
Silvo, why are you yelling at me?
Screaming at him. Yes. She said, "Go down, swap places. It's all good."
That
All
gag
right,
will
He
never
feels
not
like
be
he has a
funny, by
headache
the way.
now.
The telepathy gag will never not be funny.
So Oceanus does a dirty 20 dive off the side of the boat to go into the water.
20
Very impressive. Like, I imagine saluting mid dive, like as you're going down. So okay, you do that. You exchange with Brian, and indeed the skeletons before you all sort of line up. And you notice, by the way, Oceanus, as you're looking down there, that all of these ones are sort of, they're all kind of lined up, as I mentioned before. But you notice that in front are this group of 6 skeletons that are in with the group, but they are definitely ahead of the group. And they're almost sort of, they're all waiting to see what your orders are, but the 6 in front continue to sort of separate themselves slightly from the others. And you would guess probably there may be like 100 skeletons in this army that you're looking at, 150 maybe.
I know this was asked before, but does Oceanus see any regalia or anything that would that would indicate why these 6 might be different?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Let's see what you see. We'll see.
11.
It's hard to say. As you look sort of closely, one thing you could do is, well, no, I don't want to do that. That's not reasonable. As you look closely, you can see that the 6 of them seem to be almost standing in, like, I guess I would say almost like a reverse, like a pyramid formation, right? Like sort of leading this way. It looks military. Like, you keep coming back to this idea. The whole thing, the army, the orientation of them, and these 6 all look like they're in some kind of long-remembered military formation. And, the details of that you're not sure about. But they definitely look like they're used to being in a formation at the front of a group of not skeletons, but whatever, like this.
Right. Okay, you 6, follow me. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. You rest of you, follow them, following me.
Okay. And they...
March!
Yeah, and they all sort of flow behind you, the group of them behind you as well. I'm going to come back to Oceanus because that's going to be important.
Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Sure.
Point of order. Oceanus doesn't really speak common. Is that an issue with this medallion?
No, it doesn't appear to be. They seem to sort of understand you almost intuitively.
You speak in Aquan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you speak in Aquan,
Aquan? Elvish. No, it would
No,
have
no,
been
no.
Elvish,
I
probably.
like no. I'm happy to do the
Okay.
Aquan. I'm thinking
Oh,
about
you want
whether that's going to have a reaction or not. Okay. I can't explain why I'm asking you to make this check yet. I'd like you to make a charisma check, not a persuasion, just charisma.
Okay.
I also just want to point out as well that I did say to Silvo that I wanted to check that Oceanus was being understood by the skeletons
Yes.
before I kind
Yep.
of went back to the boat.
Okay, that's
a 4.
That's a 4. Yeah. No, nothing in particular unusual. I wondered if you would notice anything when you said the Aquan, but no, they seem to follow you. And Brian, from everything you can tell, they do seem to be following Oceanus as they were following you before. So.
Okay, I'm gonna go and get on the boat.
Okay. His Aquan, that's a language I've not heard in a long time. Okay. So you get on the boat, and I'm going to come back to Oceanus in a little bit. As we move into our final hour here, by the way, I'm going to set up just a reset for everybody that you are watching episode 483 of Pen and Pixels. Knock on wood, so far, it's going along. We're hanging in there. I'm joined by the amazing By the Dice Roll crew of Pyron Jade and Darksaber 2K and Wholesome Heart Gaming and Ananda and Undeveloped Bruce, and joining us as he does whenever he can is Flaos as well. But we are here playing some D&D as we continue with Ghosts of Saltmarsh. If you're wondering why there's been some buffering on and off, although it seems to have stabilized, knock on wood, a little bit, but if you're wondering what that's happening, it's because I am on an island in the Pacific Northwest and have no business doing this, but I really did not want to miss today. So we're doing the best we can with that. I'll be back normal place and normal internet next week. But for the moment, this is what we're dealing with. And so far, we're hanging in there okay. So please follow and spread the word and all that kind of good stuff. Okay. As your sort of ship continues towards the shore, you see something sort of striking. This is about maybe 8-9 hours, so you're approaching now the shore of Saltmarsh, the 5 of you that are on the boat. And the thing that you notice is that you're coming in, first of all, towards evening, and you can see that all along the coastline of Saltmarsh, there are what look like flickering lights, and as you get closer, you can see that they are signal fires, or at least you would assume they are. Large torches or campfires or, beacons, the beacons of Gondor, right, have been lit, and they're all sort of sparkling on the side of the coast. And as you can get closer, you can see there's a lot of different people, a lot of different groups that seem to have gathered near Saltmarsh. You don't know what kinds of groups yet, but you can see a lot of activity that you wouldn't normally have seen. Pyron, you had your hand raised about something.
Can I use the boat trip or the ship ride or whatever travel for, to get finally a good time for sleeping?
Yes, I would say that you can all benefit.
That would be nice to have some really nice sleep finally.
Yes, I would say that you could all benefit from a long rest during this. I would say that this is a long rest period. Yes.
Sleep.
And
I'd like to
also,
take a moment on the journey over just to brief the lighthouse keeper, just so he's aware that there are skeletons, and that I wanted to break that to him discreetly so as not to panic the crew. But we are going to have skeletons, and if he could figure out a way to let people know that they'll be on our side when they turn up, we'd be very grateful.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye widen, the montage scene of this has a lot of Morthwyl gesturing and the lighthouse keeper being eyes widened, lowering, right. So there's a great deal of that. Also, just a quick technical question for all of you folks. What level did I have you folks at before?
5. I was actually Mr. Dungeon Master Man. I was going to remind you at the end of this session.
Well, now that you've finally arrived at now that you've finally arrived at Saltmarsh, we're now looking at level 6. You could start thinking about that now, but obviously next session will begin with level 6. But yes, that is.
Next session's going to be me doing an artificing montage for most.
That's great. That's great. As we're moving into, incidentally, chapter 6, known as quote the final enemy. I'm just saying, no reason to believe anything else. It's fine. Should be fine. Okay.
You copied that from the book 16. We found.
Yeah. I don't. Well, Stop doing that. I kicked out my headphones again.
So we're doing a long rest, yeah?
Yes.
There we go.
Everyone get all your bits back. Get all your points and tokens
Oh
back.
yeah, let me hit the long rest button.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And
So
then we're back down to temporary hit points. Of
Sci-fi
0.
noises from my crystals as they charge up.
it's yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, our temporary hit points have vanished, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
So as you get closer and you see these signal fires that I mentioned before, you can see that there are groups of clearly armed persons. At first, you're not 100% sure which kind, but then as you get closer, you can see that there are both humans, and you're pretty sure you can see from the boat as it gets closer and closer, lizard folk that have gathered together. So there are groups of lizard folk and humans that are all surrounding and along the coast of Saltmarsh. There are
Mortal's
also
holding up for a high five from the group at the sight of lizard folk.
yeah.
We did it!
Yeah.
Diplomacy! Yes!
Yay, diplomacy! The one time
Diplomacy
it worked.
about to, like finally when they were punched in the face enough, the council's like, hey, maybe this is a good idea that we would do, everyone will always do the right thing about
There
3
was
weeks
a
too
thing
late.
those weirdos mentioned a while back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you remember that group of weirdos that came into
They
town?
said
and
they
we
said they
sent them
secured an
off?
alliance with the lizard folk. Maybe we should look into that.
Crazy pirate and the crazy inventor. Yeah.
They did this thing. So as you get closer and you're heading towards the dock, you also notice something else, which is there are a whole line of fishing boats, many of which, Morthwhale, you would have worked on. Fishing boats and sailboats and all of these things that are basically lining the front and in fact blocking the way to the dock. When you get close enough, you actually the lighthouse keeper has to slow the boat down, your boat, and basically call down to them. And there's a lot of back and forth challenges and signs and countersigns and stuff like that. And you can see that there are crossbowmen and bowmen on each of these boats. Now, again, most of these boats are not military. Most of these are not designed for this, but you can see that there's been a lot of retrofitting. You can see some have like almost what look like makeshift, like wooden, like the railing has been extended upwards and there have been some holes drilled in them so that like almost like arrow slits, and stuff like that in these boats. So there's a lot of this sort of, like the militia has been summoned, except it's a naval militia largely here instead of a land one. And eventually the line of boats is convinced and they sort of pull away, allowing access for the large boat to come to the dock. And when the dock is there, when you get to the dock, again, there is just like activity everywhere, people running to and fro. There are people shouting orders at other people. Silvo, you are pretty sure that you see a couple of bouncers that have thrown you out of places here, that are kind of, bustling along the dock, being, sort of like carrying barrels and sacks and things like that. There's just a lot of activity happening as you arrive. And when the boat docks, the lighthouse keeper looks back at you and says, all right, you've got a place to go. I'll do what I can to explain to them everything. And he kind of, he has taken to calling what you described. It was Silvo, right? Who was describing this? You were the one. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's Morthwell. I'm sorry. So Morthwell, what he has started calling, quote, the situation. So he says, I'm going to let them know about the situation, and he kind of winks at you. And he said, but you better get on land. You can already see these people are right on the edge of panic. And he sort of steps back and nods as his crew drops the gangplank onto the dock.
God, I've never seen a place this busy before.
I have missed out on a lot of commission.
Yeah. Don't worry, I think those sacks of gems will probably make up for that.
It's a one-off payment, though. This could have been an ongoing thing. Oh!
Right, where to now? Should we head
Council
straight to
chambers,
the
I think.
council?
He said there was a general meeting called. He said general, right? Anyone can enter. That's my understanding in general.
Hey, we're the heroes of Saltmarsh. Of course we can enter.
That's true.
Um,
Oh, yeah, I suppose we could pull a don't you know who we are. That's a new
We
one.
need to warn them about the incoming attack as well.
Yep.
That's
It looks like
how
they
we
might
make
have
an
some
entrance.
information about it
I
already.
think they figured out there might just be our information they're working off.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be.
Told
But
you we
how
needed a book.
close it is, they definitely need to know how close it is. So I reckon we head to the council chambers.
Oh yeah. Quickly as possible, shortcuts. Silvo,
Yeah.
you're up.
Any objections to ducking through some back alleys towards the council chambers?
I'm just going to nip underwater and tell Oceanus what we're doing, and just to like keep calm, stay quiet. We'll be back.
I thought Oceanus would have been quite a way away at this point.
yeah,
Go back to
Oceanus.
Saltmarsh.
Yeah, that's my
Oceanus is not.
understanding. We were still.
Yeah, Oceanus is behind. Oceanus has not arrived yet because Oceanus is frantically
Okay. No,
running
no,
with
that's
skeletons.
Yeah.
Though, if you have Friend of the Sea as a trait of your ancestry, you probably could send a message. I don't know if that's the case. Or
Ooh.
not.
Oh, true.
Nice.
I do not.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Just
That's a
acquaintance
very
of the
cool
sea.
feature. Just acquaintance of the sea.
And colleague of the sea, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, cool. We'll
Known
take
to the sea.
several back alleys and shortcuts and weird paths to get to the council chambers as quickly as possible.
okay, sounds good. And I have now, I think, managed to get the map up and loaded, with some difficulty, but managed. So now that should be able to show up for both players and hopefully for the chat. I believe. I think I see that now. Okay, so when you come up to the council, the hive of activity that I've previously described is, if possible, even more increased. There are guardsmen just absolutely everywhere, and people sort of challenging each other. You also note that although there are a lot of townspeople on the street, all the townspeople are basically engaged in doing something, sandbagging banks or gathering things together. You can see Morthwill, some of your guild that's sort of gathering together wood and various other things, but clearly for military purposes, not for building purposes, and so on. Bruce, I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry, not in this case Green, I'm sorry to say that the work that Green did to clean things up is a little bit undone by a great deal of people running back and forth and sort of scuffing things up a bit. It's not the most clean experience. I mean, I'm not saying it's filthy, but it's definitely, it's very dusty. Let's put it that way. Lot of dust. And
He's got this.
yeah, like just sort of disappointed look vaguely, silently judging. Yeah, exactly. Just like trying as best as possible. And when you come to the council chamber, the building itself, the sort of lead guard, the captain, really, the guard captain steps up and says, "Halt! No one's allowed in, right?" And then sees who you are. Is like, you're summoned. You've been summoned for. Here, come in. And he kind of talks to one of the guards next to them, and the doors open wide to permit entrance. The council chamber is packed full. It is as busy as you've ever seen it, or I should say as full as you've ever seen it, and not just with humans. First of all of the council members that you previously knew are there, and so is Scarin Wavechaser. And you all know that Scarin is the butler for Anders Solmar, Anders, who's technically the leader of the council, theoretically anyway. Scarin is there along with Anders. There are also two lizard folk here. Both of them are fully armored the way that lizard folk can be at their best. They've got like steel gauntlets that they will typically wear and shields, and they've obviously got spears. They don't wear full armor suits beyond that, but for lizard folk, that's highly armored. There is also someone, for a moment you all blink and wonder how Oceanus got here ahead of you, but it turns out it's not actually Oceanus, but it is definitely another merfolk who is standing there, not familiar to you. You've not seen this one before. And also, there is, in addition to all that, a creature that I want to describe properly so I don't confuse people. 1 second. Blah, blah, blah. Ah, yes, that's right. A Lokata. I have to see if I can find a picture. Oh God, do I take the chance of bringing my
Yes,
computer
do
to a
it.
call?
I just checked my note on what it was.
You
Do
you
it.
see it, right? Okay.
I've got my note on exactly what it is. You got to show a pic.
All right. Let's see. Okay, here's this.
There's no good way of describing this.
No, you've got to see them.
You got to see it. Okay, hold on. I got this up. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna open that in a new tab. Okay, I got that open. Now, can I window capture?
He's got this, people. He's got this.
Woo! I don't know.
We
All right.
believe.
Okay.
Now roll for initiative.
Yeah, right. All right, there it is. Literally, it is a large fish, is what it looks like, standing next to a sea lion, and is literally standing in the council chamber. Now, you did meet a couple of Lokatha before when you were in the lizard folk den, but this is one of them here. Essentially, what you're looking at these are the either good or neutral, or at least we don't like the Sahugin allied folk that are all here sitting in the council chamber. And they are all standing here. You're not familiar, though, with this particular Lokatha, nor are you familiar with the merfolk that you see here. Or the two, one of the lizard folk you did actually meet previously, but the other ones are there. So, as you come in, there's sort of a moment of there's kind of a murmuring in the room as the people sort of look over. You can also see some merchant guild leaders and so on. And Silvo, you think at one point that you note one of the go-betweens between the Viper sisters and you, standing in the chamber. Doesn't say anything, but this is a typical bruiser that the Viper sisters usually employ, and is just sort of standing there alongside everybody else. So they're all sort of standing. Yeah, Bolin, that's a Lokatha, and it's petting a sea lion. And that's basically exactly what you see here, except for the fact that this Lokatha has a badass trident that it's holding onto. I should mention that. The trident literally shimmers in the lantern light of the council room. So you all walk in, and they are all standing there, and there's a moment, as I say, murmuring when you enter. And then Anders says, we are on the edge of a precipice over which we must plunge. And the only way to avoid death is to listen to those who warned us of this in the first place. And he kind of glares around at some of the other council members. You notice that some of the traditionalists and the people who were that was the sort of racist faction, if you will, of the council that was not really in favor of going along with you folks, are very quiet at the moment, right? They're all just sort of they just don't say anything. They're just sitting there. And Anders looks at you and says, it is these 5. Yeah, it is all of you 5. Not Oceana, so we wouldn't know. It's these 5. It is these 5 who warned us of this moment. And it is these 5 that we must turn for advice before we hear from the others. And he says, you've returned from the Isle. What news do you have for us?
Silver nudges Brian.
Well, we have some news from the Isle, and it is not all good news. We found an abbey. It had been burned. We found some inhabitants, and I'm going to have to look back through my notes now. 1 second.
I love those bits where the DM tests you on the story so far.
Yeah. Okay, I can't even. My notes were made back in January, by the way, so I have to read them. We saw that there was an invasion in the offing. A pirate guild had burned down the abbey, and Mariners Guild wiped out the rest. But the biggest news was that there were a lot of undead. the undead were being controlled. Now, this is a side note, just so you're aware that I'm not going to mention the fact that we know that is it Saren Wave Chaser was the one seen with the robes?
Yeah.
Am I
Yes,
right?
that's right. The
Yeah,
whole
I'm
the
going
vision.
to mention
You saw a
the
vision
fact,
of it.
yeah. I'm going to mention the cultists, mention the robes they were wearing. I'm going to scan the room as we speak, but my eyes are going to slightly lock on Asmodeus before I continue on. And then talk about we found some secret rooms. We found some other creatures that were under the influence, and we also found some plans for the
I
future.
slammed the book down on the table at that point.
Yeah, and then I'm going to pass the floor over to Morthwill, who's got the book, and
I
I'm assuming has
can't
been
read the book.
studying it.
I don't speak either language this book's written in. I only know what she told me. I just had the book.
And Scare and
I was under the.
Anders says, this book you speak of, what is within it?
Sorry, I'm going to backtrack slightly. Who can actually read the book?
I believe you can.
Anyone who can speak Aquan, we never identified the other language.
Right. So I think at the moment it's just you, Brian.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can speak that.
I speak Aquan.
Then it was green. I knew somebody did.
All the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we translated it with help.
Yes. It was a group effort.
It was a group effort. I held it.
Yeah.
In which
I was
case, I'm
invisible in
going
the
to
background.
pass the floor over to whoever has recollection of exactly what was said in the book.
Okay.
It says that they will. It is an evil plan for the final countdown. Ba-da-ba-ba. And
everyone in the room starts doing the
Saltmarsh.
song.
Yeah.
Saltmarsh is the first village they plan, or first town they plan to attack along the coast before starting a campaign along the coast and then inland. And they plan to attack Saltmarsh in this many days from now. Enter number.
And there's sort of there's a big murmur when you say that, and in fact, one of the council members whispers something to one of the guards behind him, and they sort of like push through the others, like to get out and like issue more orders outside and stuff like that. And one of the council members says, "You mean this invasion is going to strike at Saltmarsh, and not just to eliminate us? We thought that it was just about Saltmarsh, just taking our wealth and goods. You mean there's more to it?"
I think Saltmarsh is planned to be the first strike in a much, much larger invasion.
And they sort of all glance. They all look at each other, and the Anders, sorry, not it. Yes, Anders nods after a moment and says, "It is as we had feared then. It seemed like the nature of this Sahuagin threat was greater than just the raids usually." He pauses and he says, "So," he kind of looks at all of you and says, "In that case, we must tell you what it is we have learned. And perhaps you may be willing and able to help us again. For we will appeal for your aid." And he nods at the two lizard folk who step forward. Now, both of these lizard folk that you can see here are, as I said, armored as much as a lizard folk would be, but they're shields that they carry, which is the big sort of note about them. They have with them a very large, what looks like essentially a scaled shield, possibly scales from, you don't know if it's probably not turtle shell scales, you don't think, Green? At least you hope not. but it looks like it was assembled from the scales of other creatures. And of course, some of you here have had to battle great alligators and crocodiles
Sorry,
and
Arv, you're
creatures like
breaking
that.
up really badly.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, I can't hear what you're saying at the
Sorry.
moment.
I like that it was
You've
like
become
perfect,
a
perfect,
collective
perfect.
wincing face on the call.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's the information that's new that you need. But
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Lizard. Shield.
Shields. Okay, sorry.
Arriving at platform.
Sorry. So they are carrying shields that are. Oh no. Well, hang on a second, chat. We lost everybody. Get them back. Bear with me. And the secret answer is blah. The good news is that this is also being recorded, so it will, on the VOD afterwards, be much more coherent. But unfortunately... Okay, hang on. I'm still here. We're gradually regathering. Hold on.
But I'm pretty sure.
Regathering.
So I should be able to read the primordial then.
The page you
you
linked
should
literally
be.
said it's a dialect. You should be able to understand the primordial.
Okay,
Yeah.
hang on.
So that's why.
Here we go.
That's why. Morphill's
Okay.
the only one that.
Is everyone back? Hello?
I
Yeah,
was
dwarvish
unsure
common.
because the
You can hear
script
you now.
of
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
They use
Um,
different scripts. That's true, right?
yeah, because the script primordial is written in is dwarvish, so I
Wait, what?
wasn't 100% sure. Primordial is written with the same letters as dwarvish.
Okay.
Like you
That's
can
it.
write German and English with the same letters.
So they share the same alphabet.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
That's
I
fine.
see.
I got it.
Okay.
And I was immediately thinking, does that mean no? That's not how it works.
No, he doesn't.
It's just using
Okay.
the same alphabet. It should be fine.
All right. So
Yeah,
we're
I thought exactly the same thing. I'm like, oh, that means you can. No, I can't read German. It's fine.
okay. So we're back. We're
Yeah.
back, and everyone can hear us. So let me bring everybody back. I'm going to try to capture these windows again.
That's my eyes.
Yeah. No, I know.
That's just me.
We're getting everybody back.
That's very scary.
Now we're at the 11th hour of the story where every NPC is going, oh, we should have listened to them 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
Arf,
genuinely thought that.
I just found out I can read primordial.
Oh, you can.
We could have
Okay.
been reading it on the boat ride home.
Yes,
Oh.
I can.
All right. I did
I
not.
just didn't know
I see. Okay.
because I have Auron on my list, and so I looked up, and it says here, I linked it. Considered a dialect of primordial, so that creatures who spoke one of the other elemental dialects, such as Auron, could understand. So I can understand. Wait, it says that Aquan, Ignan, Terran, and Auron are dialects of primordial, and each can understand each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Auron may use a different script most of the time. Looking at the thing you linked, like it might use the draconic, scratchy script more than the dwarvish. But
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure, but apparently Aquan, Ignan, Terran, and Auron are all primordial. So
Okay.
yeah, we can all
Cool.
talk to each other.
All right. So we will. I am.
Fine. I'll make my own party. And we'll only speak Dwarven.
I'm frantically getting everyone recaptured. So bear with me just for a second. I'm negotiating with the Sahugan ISP to get my bandwidth back.
Deep speech.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening.
It's Dwarvish and mining.
Eat it.
Deep speech and mind flayers.
Okay.
Oh no, if your dwarves turns into deep speech, you got a problem.
Yeah.
in preparation for our sailing in Saltmarsh, I actually rewatched Pirates of the Caribbean in English.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Which is exactly what's happening with the skeletons walking across the ocean floor.
Oh, the imagery was
Gentlemen,
Yes.
take
take a
a
It was a lot scarier than I remembered it when I watched it at the cinema like a long time ago. It's like, what's this? It's like, why is this? I didn't remember there being so like many horror elements in there. I
Yeah,
remember, like, from another part of the series, the guy with the tentacle beard, which I thought, like, wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
But the first one is already quite impressive with all the skeletons.
The
There's,
first
like,
one,
lots
yeah,
of...
the first one's quite dark. Do you know what I mean?
Yes!
one of my girls is pretty like she gets scared kind of easily, so we wanted to show them the movie, but I don't. I think
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be too scary for them right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna... I mean, I think... how old is your girl? Because I was wondering whether it would be appropriate for my 9-year-old, and it's not.
Yeah, 6 and 8. So the 6-year-old's the one that really seems to get nervous about certain things. So
Okay, sorry, folks. Almost all the
my
way
sister,
back.
I think she
Hey,
watched
gnomes
Lord of the
behind
Rings
the
when she was
scenes.
6 years old. But
I watched Jaws when I was 9-year-old, and
Oh,
it
man.
very much traumatized me.
I watched it far too early in my life. And,
yeah.
and look at me now, folks.
Oh my gosh.
I started reading it
Now
when
you
I was
play the
about
horror.
like 12.
Yeah.
That's it. I cannot recommend that.
You know what
It's
you
not a
should
kid's
not
book.
watch
No,
when you're 10 years old
no.
in a row is you should not watch Thriller followed by Wrath of Khan, because I'm here to tell you that creatures crawling out of people's ears, which is what happens in that movie, not what you want when you're 10. It's definitely not.
No.
That's not a thing you want. Okay, we're almost all the way back. Thanks for your patience, chat.
I don't know. I had the cousin go round to their house. He's always like, "Yeah, do you want to watch Aliens? What are you, 10? You're old enough. That's fine." He's like, "Yeah, Aliens. Yeah, Terminator 2.
What
this is
was it
great."
about that time period where they were just like, yeah,
RoboCop.
well, you're like double digits now, you're fine. Just whack
Yeah,
alien on.
we'll put RoboCop, literally the most goriest film you could get for the
Right.
time, sure.
Yeah, not fine.
Exactly.
Okay, there we go.
I had parents who were on the had the position that all animated movies are automatically kids' movies. So I was
So you
I
watched
was
Watership
treated to
Down,
Mrs.
right?
Frisbee and yes, I did. Watership Down,
that
Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim.
Oh,
that
And
Wizards?
the worst one was actually When the Wind Blows.
Oh, God.
That
That's
one.
God.
That was like the worst one.
Mate,
God.
that's such a
What's
horrible
that? I
movie
don't
to
know
watch
that
as a
one.
kid.
I was in primary
Who was the
school
guy
at that
who-
time.
The person who did the animation did like kids' books, didn't he? I forget which ones
I think
though.
so, yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, we are back.
He was
Sorry
like, so
about that.
incensed about how
Forgot about
stupid the nuke advice we were getting was
Yeah,
that he said, well, if you follow it, this is what will happen, right?
Yeah. My God. Okay, sorry about
That's
that.
like
Another quick one there though. Also, Dark Crystal. Amazing, but
Yes.
Yeah,
that's not like, oh, it's super,
Scary.
like, you know. And then of course the
The
incredible
I
snakes
also-
still scare me.
and Krull.
yeah.
There were
As
Yeah,
a kid,
I was
the
also
Widow with
shown
the
that
Web.
one.
The Widow in the Web and Krull was like, oh man, and Krull is still, I have a very soft spot in my heart for Krull.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
oh man, yeah, crazy. Okay, so but again, apologies, and yeah, go Ciro. I don't know if you saw earlier on, but I'm trying to do this with sealing, with packing tape and sealing wire, and as they say. So I'm doing the best I can. We have another about 15 minutes to go where I want to try to get through this section if I can. But more or less it's held together. And for those of you who missed portions of this, please do check out my YouTube channel tomorrow when this goes up, because it's been recorded. So there will not be breakups for all of you when you're listening to that, at the very least. But I'm thankful to my players and to everyone else that were being patient. So, so what I was talking about was these lizards, is that these shields were themselves scaled, not hopefully turtle shell scaled, but scaled of something. The two of them step forward. One of them is one of the ones that you actually met. One of them whose name was Garrett, who is basically representing apparently the Queen's interest. And the lizard folk steps forward and explains, something you may have some use for. And they pull out a crude map. And the map that they show is, it's first of all, it's drawn on the back of the skin of something. You're not sure about the skin of what. But it is a map which the lizard folk, Garrett explains, is their former lair. It is where the lizard folk used to be before they were driven out of exile and were driven to the swamp where you all knew them, where you met them, which is to the north, basically, of Saltmarsh. But that isn't where they always used to be. They used to be a lair that was essentially an island in the estuary of the Javon River. The Javon River, and we'll talk more about this next month when I have functional internet, is some 50 miles west and south of Saltmarsh. And the lizard folk lair used to be there, and basically as a series of natural passages and caves and so on that are honeycombing the interior of the island. The lair is basically 3 levels. So comprehensive is it? A 3-level cave system, essentially, inside this rocky island. And the island itself has sunk somewhat into the sea, so that the only part of it you can see is the top 1/3 of it. Most of it is below the waves. The main entrance to the lair is a cave which faces the seacoast. And the lizard folk added some stairs and some things like that. But the Sahuagin invaded the lizard folk lair, basically kicked them all out, and submerged those bottom 2 levels that were below the level of the water, literally submerged them in water, so that the bottom 2 levels of the lair are completely underwater of this place. That apparently is the Sahuagin stronghold. And the 2 of them, as they're describing this, the 2 of them explain that the gathering of this lair, that the lair was basically big enough that it could hold maybe thousands of possible invaders. They don't know, obviously, because they haven't been back to the lair, but it's possible that such a thing could exist. So their goal, obviously, was to convince the council that there was a threat of invasion to begin with. Now that that's been all settled, now, of course, they would like to get the lair back, and they will provide whatever sort of intel folks that everyone needs to be able to get in there. So they step forward and kind of explain all of this. And before we go on, if anyone of the 5 of you in particular, because I'm going to come to Oceanus in a second, but if any of the 5 of you have questions that you wanted to ask the lizard folk, you could do that here, because they are telling you about this lair, which is now the Sahuagin stronghold from which the invasion apparently is going to be launched.
I would like to commit the map to memory.
Okay. You can do that. It's a pretty simple map.
Photographic memory of a Kenku, ladies and gentlemen.
How long have they had this stronghold for?
According to the lizard folk, at least 7 to 8 months. For a while, the lizard folk tried to get it back on their own. Then after that failed, after a month or 2, they tried to get a couple of their other seaborne allies, like the merfolk. And when that failed, they finally were figuring out what to do when you all, about a month ago now, or maybe I guess 3 weeks ago or so, found them in their exile lair, like their current lair in the swamp, and then managed to make alliance with them. So the Sahuagin have had 8 months to do whatever it is, or 9 months to do whatever it is that they've done to it since the lizard folk kicked out.
So an unknown layout, but with an unknown amount of defenses, because they've probably been digging in if there's their stronghold.
They nod. The lizard folk says, the cave that provides entrance is itself rather large, but inside passages can be narrow and twisty. He basically said the passages can be narrow
Waddle
and
looks 3
twisty.
feet down at his feet.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'll be in my element then.
Yep.
Quick question. Sorry, Brian.
That's all right, carry on.
I was just going to say, quick question. Have you got anybody watching over this stronghold? Do you know of any movement? Any other intel from nearby that might help?
And here you hear someone say, I have seen, and you kind of look over to see the merfolk step forward. And she says, I am Erin. I speak for folk of sea We have watched, we see great evil, many come to place of gathering. Sahugin will come. It reminds you quite a bit of Oceanus's method of speech. But Oceanus, who does not speak common, Aaron does speak it in a broken common way. And you remember having heard that Oceanus had said that Oceanus was also kind of like sent to figure out this threat. So the merfolk have been involved with it before, and Aaron explains that there's about 5 or 6 others of her people that are nearby. That's one of the little like groups of people that you saw coming into Saltmarsh that are ready to go and try to do some level of reconnaissance. But there's only so close they can get because they are, the Sahugin have put out guards farther and farther to stand watch. So it's hard to get a good sense of actual numbers right now of who's there and all that.
I would like to whisper to whoever is closest to me. Should we ask them if they know anything about a psychic leviathan nearby?
I mean,
Should
keeping that
probably-
to our...
Someone here might know more than they're letting on about it. This has been pointing back to here over and over again.
I mimic that. What if we ask them? We should watch them closely to see how they react.
Right, but
Sounds
who
like a
should
good
we
idea.
watch? I think we should watch Scarron. I don't trust him.
I don't trust him either, especially since we know his sartorial choices.
Can I cast Zone of Truth in this room?
You
Also,
could.
just a quick question. Whatever happened to Gellin Prime Water?
Gellin Primewater was sent off to face trial and has not returned.
Right.
But it was so.
Okay, it's
it
been
may
a
be
while.
still in the capital. Yeah. So, in answer to your question, Green. Sorry. Also, I have people moving around behind me. Green. You can do that, but be aware that people will be aware that they'll know that you're doing it. So you'd have to sort of be like, "Hey, is everyone cool if I do this?" And you may be able to present that. They may go along with it. You don't know, but they will know that you're doing it.
Nah, it's not worth it then, is it? Because then they can just speak around and not, it's fine.
I think keeping the Leviathan a secret isn't going to aid us at all.
They need to know that we know.
Yeah.
Who was the one who spoke to it again? Wasn't it Oceanus?
Oceanus and me.
Ah, well.
I kind of give Silvo a nudge and a nod.
Yeah, I kind of deserve that. There is one more thing we need to be concerned about, and he's addressing the lizard folk now, and the sea elves, the merfolk. We believe that the creature, the force behind this, is a Leviathan type ancient creature. Very powerful, lots of tentacles, able to speak into your mind, kind of wants to see the world just destroyed and return to the ocean. Does that ring any bells?
So,
As Silvo's saying that, I actually want to hold up the shark fin harp symbol that we found.
so at this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I hand it over to Silvo. Yeah, show
Yeah.
The cola, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. With the tentacles on, wasn't it?
So at the sign of the harp and at the sound of your
Yeah,
story.
It was, familiar but a bit different, the symbol, apparently.
That's right. And at the sign of the sort of harp, there's a great, kind of, actually this murmuring behind me. See, that's exactly what that is. They're all like, oh. And they're all sort of you could tell a lot of the council members are agitated. In particular, so I get the pronunciation right. the Lokatha seems quite perturbed and steps forward and says, "What you are describing is the worst possible solution. This means the end of all things. My people will not survive, even in the sea." I'm sure that my attempt to do a fish voice combined with my internet is going over really well. But anyway,
It's perfect.
So Lokatha introduces himself as Sakith, Sakith. He says that he is a local. Thank you. He says that he is a hunter, and that he has spent much of his life in and around the seabed, and seeking out things which would help preserve his people. But that there was one moment, where he had an encounter with a greater presence. The Lokatha have always known of this as a possibility, because you may remember I mentioned before that the Lokatha themselves were originally a race largely enslaved by others, including by the Sahuagin. And so they have a great hatred for the Sahuagin. And they know of some of the things that drew the Sahuagin together. And the only thing that ever drew them together was a greater threat, a greater power. And if that's what this is, then it makes sense that this is what they're facing. And so the council is obviously extremely disquieted about all of this. And they finally say, as they're listening to you, Anders says, after there's a lot of back and forth about what needs to be done, and Anders finally says, "It seems that we must know what we are facing. If the invasion is coming within the next few days, then the only option for us is to strike before the invasion can form. We have built now a force, but it is not a force that can act well in defense. Perhaps, though, in offense." You can see a lot of the council members are kind of shifting uncomfortably in their chairs. And they say, Anders says, "We would like you to find out about this fortress. We need you to determine the strength of the Sahuagin. Find out how many troops are within this fortress. We need you to find out about the fortress itself. What are the rooms? Where are the warriors and the officers barracked and quartered? What are their defenses? Anything you can tell us about that will help. If we send you now, we will follow after you within a day. You would have that long to be able to determine the details of this inner fortress before we arrive for our attack. We must assault the Sahuagin ourselves." So they put that forward, and I want to freeze frame for a moment, because underneath the water, approaching the shore, is some hours away. Okay. Someday I will not knock the wires out of my headphones, but it is not this day. Approaching the shore is a very familiar merfolk, and it is Oceanus. Oceanus, behind you are the skeletons who have been following you obediently the whole time. Obviously, they are making no noise underwater. So all you have is just the sound of the waves to kind of guide you. But as you have grown closer to the shore, you have had moments of, I guess what I would say, I don't want to call them blackout moments, but you keep having these little flashbacks to those moments that you were in contact with this greater mind, right? And as you hear every so often these whispers in your head about, and they're just little fragments, things like, "Army is pitiful," or "You will be destroyed," or "I have made all the preparations," or "You will not hold your friends together." All little things like this, little bits and pieces. And as you come close to the shore of where Saltmarsh is, you're probably about maybe 3 hours out if you were just to continue to walk at this pace. Above you, you can see there's a great deal of disruption in the surface of the water. There's a lot of boats above you. You think you can see like torchlight and flame way above the sea. And there is a tension about the water below you as well. And just as you're about 3 hours away, there are two shapes that swim up to you in the darkness of the ocean. And as you look at them, you can see that they're two of your own people, two other of the sea elves. And they come up to you and sort of swim and then stop, and they raise a hand and they say in Aquan, well met, Oceanus.
Hail, friends. What word do you bring?
We bring word of a gathering. The armies are coming together. The people of the land will fight against the sea. But there is more. The ones you bring, there has been talk in the sea that you bring an army with you. Is this true?
Just look right behind me.
And they look and they can see the sort of the skeletons just sort of standing silently. And one of them, the other one who hasn't spoken, says, so the rumors we have heard are true. Are you certain?
You shouldn't always trust the fish, but, you know, they told the truth this time. The scuttlebutt, if you will.
Oceanus, there are some in our people who believe that what we must do now is flee. Take the rest of our people and flee into the deeper oceans. The people of the land have their own battles to fight. We might be safe if we were to retreat. What say you?
This is not just the Sahuagin. Only a day ago, something deep, something that my mother used to scare me with, spoke to me in my mind as I was coming here. I just whispers. It's not the Sahuagin. The Sahuagin are just a tool. There's something here in the ocean, or in the waters. No, there's an ocean. I can't remember. Here in the sea, that is coming for the land, coming for not just the land though, for everyone. There is no place safe for us, no matter how deep we go. I feel this thing can go deeper. If we don't stand with the rest, we'll be destroyed.
And so there's a long pause, and then the two look at each other and they say, we had thought you might say as much. If this is what you believe, then we have come to tell you that you will not be alone. And they part, and behind you see rows of shapes with tridents swimming up to you in rows. And there's a moment where we see Oceanus standing to the side and the two sea elves next to him. Rows of sea elves on the left floating. Rows of undead white-boned skeletons standing on the sea floor to the right. And Oceanus in the middle. And the two sea elves say, if you think the time has come, then we will fight with you. And the sea elves raise their tridents above their head, and the skeletons stand silently. And we bring our session to a close.
Yo, cliffhanger.
Yes, it's a different kind of cliffhanger this way. I will say that in our next session, I'll give everybody a few minutes to have questions of the council, because I'm sure there will be some, especially when I have functional internet. It'd be nice to know. So that's the case. But we are officially now finally in the final chapter and at level 6. And so we did, in fact, make it. I am so glad that we were able to do it, despite the fact that the internet was so bad. And I'm sorry that the situation was what was, but I'm glad we managed anyway. I really appreciated, though, what everyone was doing with each other. I loved some of the visuals that you all came up with and how you sort of rolled with the punches, or swam with the punches, I guess, as time was going on, was really fun to see. So I will start with Bruce. Bruce, great stuff from Green as always. I have felt very bad for Green as this has gone on. Like the trauma level of Green is like over 9,000. But and I agree with, I think it was Mike said, needs to be on a shirt of "Won't somebody think of all the clerics?" That's tremendous. But yeah, Green has got a lot to sort of consider, and I don't know how you feel Green's going to handle things psychologically going forward. I don't know. I'm curious to see how Green kind of plays out in terms of whether Green feels his friends will save him or not. I don't know. How did you feel about today's session? What will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, it was fun as usual. And at this point, I think that Green's arc is just going to be he realizes that inner peace is just not being anywhere near the ocean. And that's, he's been aiming too high and actually, just sitting in a garden with a cup of tea, maybe that's inner peace, you know what I mean? But we'll see. Maybe he'll find something more powerful. But at the moment, that's the current trajectory. Yeah. Um, so yeah, and the fine folk will find me next at our next By the Dice Roll session, because I am a By the Dice Roll exclusive. Pew pew pew. But you can also usually see me trolling Peripheral Mike in the comment section of his streams too.
Good stuff. Thank you, Bruce. And congratulations on the new curtains, too. Good stuff, as always. Thank you as well to Ananda. Good stuff today from Brian. I was very interested. Again, as I say, the telepathy gag will never get old, so I love that. The inside voice thing. But beyond that, I mean, Brian, this is something where we really, over the last couple of sessions, have gotten to lean in a little more into sea life and being able to take advantage of the benefits of what someone like Green a little bit, and Oceanus certainly, and definitely Brian provide in terms of being able to swim and command undead and all that stuff. And now Brian, who is, some people are describing as partially the leader for certain things, or definitely has been thrust into this position of having to save a bunch of these people, sort of land and sea alike, because everyone is sort of drawn together in common purpose. And I'm curious about how Brian feels rising to the level of that threat. Maybe you said a long time ago that you're always about your crew. Maybe you just got a much bigger crew. Like, you just have a huge, big-ass crew now that, fits everybody. Maybe that's what it is. But it was really fun to see Brian navigate it, and there'll be need for more of that, obviously, as we deal with this fortress situation. So how'd you feel about today's session? What will the fine folks find you next?
I loved it as always. Yeah, I feel that Brian is very, very protective. Once you're in the inner sanctum, that's it. You're in the inner sanctum, and she will go to toe every single time, even at the detriment of herself sometimes. I don't think she realizes quite the gravity of everything that's going on at the moment, but it's kind of a dawning realization with the Leviathan and the army of skeletons, and she really, really loved commanding an army of skeletons. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, absolutely loved it as always. You will actually be able to see me. I'm planning to stream on my own channel for the first time in a few weeks. This week, I'm trying to get back to a normal routine. Life has definitely got in the way over the last 12 months. But I'm hoping to get back to some semblance of normality soon. But yeah, love today's session. Really looking forward to the addition of going into the next session, level 6, and seeing what that brings to the table. But yeah, brilliant as always. And thank you so much for powering through with the sketchy internet of.
I felt really bad, but thank you for all putting up with it. And good stuff as always, Ananda. Yeah, and I'm glad that things will, I wish for, as Green would say, inner peace for you as you're moving back into the internet streaming stuff. So, but thank you, Ananda. Mike slash Wholesome Horror Gaming slash Peripheral Mike, etc. Great stuff as always, too, from Silvo. It is interesting how Silvo has become now sort of like the resident expert on things that ought not be, the cosmic horror tentacle, brain beasts type of thing. And so we got some of that that was coming out from Silvo. But because Silvo has learned more of his power and understands more of what he doesn't know, it doesn't mean that all of it's out of the way, but it certainly means that there's not the same level of, I don't know what's going to happen, abstract random, so it's good to see Silvo sort of developing in that way. And I am going to be curious to see what happens now that you all started to piece together that there must be some malevolent intelligence sort of bringing everyone together, and how Silvo is going to react to that is interesting. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I always say this, but I always mean it. I adore these sessions, and this feeling, I wish I could bottle this feeling I get from playing this game with you people. You are my favorite group of people to converse with, to play games with, to just be with. Like, you're a beautiful bunch of human beings, and I really genuinely appreciate it. What I will say about Silvo is there's definitely a gravity that he is not aware of that is crushing down upon him right now. And I think I'm really pleased that you said, you'll give him some more chance to talk in the council chamber, because he definitely has some questions of certain people. But there's also going to be this almost moment of, oh, this is way bigger than he thought. He thought this was like some sort of smuggler conspiracy, or this was like some sort of smuggling operation across the ocean or something like that. No, this is like monumental apocalyptic level stuff now. And I think walking into, there was a beautiful moment when you said you walk into the council chamber and it's just full of people, and there's merfolk there, and there's Locathar there, and there's lizard folk there. Suddenly all of these separate instances are all crashing together in this crescendo for him mentally. And I'm interested to see, and I'm playing him, I'm interested to see how he reacts to that as well. So yeah, it's going to be fun for all of us. Obviously, I'm going to be here next time with the wonderful folks you see on the screen right now. I normally play spooky games, horror games. I'm currently going through a horror point and click binge from the 90s on my channel. So you can check me out over on twitch.tv/wholesome horror gaming. Normally, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. BST. I'm actually taking this Thursday off because I'm on holiday, so you can catch me next week.
Sorry, I was silent. You didn't hear any of that. Anyway, they're lovely people. I totally agree with Mike. They're all awesome people, and yes. Sorry. God help me with this technical stuff. Anyway, thank you, Mike. Good stuff as always. Okay, moving on to Saber. Saber, good stuff today as always with Morthwill. Good call too on the signal flare, because it did occur to me as we were heading back to the boat, like, they're just like, oh look, it's a boat that's being, moved by, if they even see skeletons, they're like, why is it a motorboat? Like, there was just a lot of stuff that I was like, I have a feeling they're going to be in this weird state. So the signal flare was a good call. And yeah, a lot of what Morthwill is going to have to figure out now, having been, I think, the longest tenured resident, I think we discussed, of Saltmarsh, is bringing together those factions, which was, of course, Morthwill's least favorite thing, not a fan of politics. But now that they've all sort of more or less come together, what can Morthwill do to sort of prepare for whatever this infiltration / surveillance in preparation for, we're going to invade before you can invade type of thing, what that's all going to be like. So there's going to be a lot, I think, resting on Morthwill's shoulders in terms of technically preparing the crew to do this. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
It was so much fun. Thank you so much, Art, for suffering through the tech issues for us. I really much appreciated, and it was great for the opportunity again to play with everybody. So much appreciated on that. There were so many moments tonight where I think I just got slightly ahead of what was going on in my brain, and I was like, is this going where I think it's going? Yes, it is. That's fantastic. Like the skeleton army, and it's like, wait, Brian's got the amulet. We now have a skeleton army. And then I saw the skeletons holding the boat, and I was like, I wonder if we can get some sort of skeletal propulsion system out of this, which we were leaning towards for a big while.
Yep. That
Just
amulet.
tell them to row.
It was the amulet. See, the loot was worth it. The loot was worth
it's OP. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, like I say, now all the now we've got all the armies going together. I'm glad for once I managed to talk myself out of having to present to the council. It's like, no, come on, I believe in you all. I dragged us in there, found all the evidence. You can present it. But yeah, so very much looking forward to where this is going. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming together. For what Morth will be doing for the next few days in game is just imagine lots of hammering and explosions from his workshop. He's got to break down his old bag of holding, which I think mentally at some point you will see him surf out of a window on top of a wave of beef jerky. Because I know what happens when you disassemble a bag of holding.
Oh,
everything
it's like,
spills
what?
out. So
Okay.
at some point, it's like my front door's gonna burst open, and I'm gonna be like, ah, with like logs and planks and beef jerky just pushing me out the door.
That's funny. We should just do a
Then
solo
I've got to put it all
session,
back in the new
Saber.
one.
We should do a solo
Yeah,
session where it's just that. It's just you.
I'll
like...
catch you up. 6 days later, Saber turns up. He's finally repacked.
Exactly.
Anyway, as for myself, I will be back here tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War Definitive Edition. If you know what 40k is, come by, check it out. It is a perfect primer on just how ridiculous 40k is. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. As for me, I'm over on my Ambum channel pretty much every other day of the week. We've got like an Abiotic Factor co-op playthrough going on, all kinds of other stuff. I'm jumping in and out of a lot of games, and we have a lot of fun. Take care, everyone.
Good stuff. Thanks, Saber. And again, thank you for Dashboard and Move On. Pyron, again, great stuff as always from Waves. I did like the idea that Waves was kind of like, we cannot lose this boat. Like, we took to this, the ship is ours, it will always be ours. Don't you try to move the boat, it was very funny. And I very much appreciated the fact that Waves also is sort of decided that working with the friends there means that even if you're dealing with like skeleton armies and stuff like that, since being in the Abbey, Waves has embraced that, right, and has just been like, let's use them to our benefit and to our advantage on multiple occasions. So Waves is practically using the thing that's been presented to them. So I which I think is great. And you got to have your dramatic on top of the boat moment also, I'd like to point out, as you were going along. So how'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next part?
Today was wonderful. I really, really needed this. So thank you to all of you, especially, of course, to you, Arf, because that must have been difficult to manage. And yes, I'm not willing to lose another boat in the rest of this campaign, which will be very easy because apparently the war is coming. And we know that... Cat, could you please leave my microphone alone? Cat, stop it. Cat, no! We know that wars never destroy ships, so I'm safe from now on.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, as a Kenku, Waves is very well acquainted with the notion of minions, and more minions seems to be a good thing. So Waves is completely in favor of the skeleton army, because these are very, very visibly minions, of course. So yeah, let's do that. I personally, as a player, hate stealth. I don't play stealth games or anything, so I'm 100% sure I'm not going to get impatient and do something rash while we're apparently going on a stealth mission. Because I never do something rash when I get impatient, so it's going to be fine. It's going to be all fine, very fine. And yeah, I think everybody might see me next for our next Buy the Dice Roll Crew D&D session. Yay!
Yay. And yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll change the stealth mission into a, we're just going to, we're doing it live. I mean, maybe the five of you will just be like us, where it's going to be us versus the Sahuagin invading army. I mean, that's all right. That happens. That'll be totally up to the players. But thanks, Byron. Always good stuff. And I'm glad that we can escape a little bit into this world a bit. So I'm glad. Last but certainly not least, Fleos, really have enjoyed being able to have you on board with us for the last few sessions. That's been great. And I know we will not be able to have you back in the next session, but as folks know, this is one of those deals where whenever Fleos is like, hey, I happen to have a day off of work, or hey, something's being, or whatever, then we're able to find out, and I'm able to add Fleos back in, which means we get Oceanus back in, and I wanted to, just in case, give a little bit of a moment of Oceanus dramatically being a badass with 2 armies on either side and all this stuff. So I was trying to do a little bit of that at least for Oceanus's setup for what's going to happen next. But otherwise, we will hopefully see you back with us soon. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the folks find you next?
It was great, thank you. I was really drawn into the story today. At one point, right before the end there, I didn't even realize you were talking to me at first. It was kind of breaking up right at that moment. I was like, oh wait, Oceanus is up. Okay, and it was just, I was really enjoying just the whole story, and it was great to be with y'all this whole summer, all 2 sessions this summer. But I'm always glad to join by the dice roll, and I doubt it's going to happen, but there is a small chance that the next session, work or lack thereof, will line up in just a certain way that Oceanus might appear again. But I do appreciate the imagery that you made, regardless of how it turns out. So I'm going to be next on my channel on Thursday morning, my time. You're going to be continuing a very old ASCII adventure game in the Cross series, if anyone's familiar with that. And next time on GOG, I'm not sure when I'm next going to be on GOG. Sometime I will be back, but whenever I can, I'll definitely be here in chat or on screen when By the Dice Roll is playing. So thanks again, everybody, for having me for these last couple sessions.
Awesome. Thank you, Flails. And I should
thanks,
note
Art, for suffering through this.
My pleasure. I'm sorry that it was. Thank you for all being patient with it. I should mention quickly, by the way, for those of you who are fans of By the Dice Roll, which I hope is all of you, and I'm very impressed by the way that we had pretty good turnout despite the constant buffering in numbers. So that's a very good sign. It shows that people are committed to all of these amazing players. Going forward into September and beyond, we may have a pretty substantial schedule change relating to some IRL stuff with players and scheduling. So we are determined. We're going to keep rolling because I think I can probably announce this now. Is everyone okay if I announce what we're talking about? I'm not talking about the schedule change, but the adventure that we're doing after Saltmarsh. I don't know if I've announced that yet, but is everyone cool if I do? Is that okay for me to mention?
Fine by me.
Yes. Is everyone cool with that? Okay.
No
After,
objections.
I don't think I've mentioned it before. If I have, then I'm repeating myself. But after Ghosts of Saltmarsh, this crew is actually going to be continuing their adventures they began in our live session last year of my own Hearthglow adventure, Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. They started with the Forbidden Night of the Forbidden Library. The next part of it is called Return to the Forbidden Library and beyond. So we're going to be doing that after Saltmarsh is complete, and I've run enough of these that it basically is its own kind of campaign. And so we're going to be doing that for the players after Saltmarsh is completed. So that's not going to be for a few months. We still have an invasion to deal with, but after that's over, that is the plan, and I'm definitely excited and honored that the players want to play through an adventure that I wrote. So I am looking forward to that. But right now I'm going to get out of here before the Zoom call kicks everybody out again. And I'm so thankful to the players for being patient. I'm sorry about the internet stuff, but I'm glad you all hung with me. So chat, can we get some love for the amazing By the Dice Roll crew? Thank you again to, in order on your screen, Flaos and Pyron J, Darksaber2K, Wholesome Horror Gaming, Inanda, and Undeveloped Bruce. Thanks so much, players. Wonderful work, and I'll see you folks next month. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, so that is going to do it for us and for me. We somehow made it, barely. Not sure that I know how, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. I am happy that I was able to, in some, make this vaguely work, thanks to tethering and all this other stuff. But we have family here and people that I've got to go hang out with, and I'd actually like to eat some food because I'm out on the East Coast, so it's 2 o'clock and it's lunchtime, and I kind of miss breakfast because I was playing some D&D with y'all. But I hope everyone had a good time today, and if you did, I hope you will consider following us here on GodCom's Twitch channel. I hope you will consider, if you haven't already done so, maybe subscribing to us here on GodCom's Twitch channel, and I hope you will consider going through to our own, as I wait to log this off, just go away. Like, we have to volunteer the thing. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need to go away. So I hope you will consider clicking through and checking out our own channels, because we have our own Patreons and subsystems and stuff like that. But I now am going to rise up on out of here. I will be probably not streaming on Thursday. There could be an impromptu stream somewhere in there on my channel, maybe. But otherwise, I will be back on Friday, back on the East Coast, and I will be streaming sometime Saturday evening. I'll be pretty zonked, so I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something. And then next week, we'll be back to normal. I'll be moving into the end of summer and fall schedule. We've got a subathon coming up on my channel and a lot of other stuff. So that is going to do it for me. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for being awesome. And I believe Kilgore Trout is going to be on later today. Let me see. Yes, with Anachronox in about 4 hours and 40 minutes. So, but that's going to do it for me. Thank you all. Much love. And I will see all of you wonderful folks down the line. Until then, as I always say, everyone, please be good to each other. And bye for now.